Welcome everyone to Tuesday Night Titans presents Make or Break live from Niagara Falls, Ontario. I am Haley Adams, joined by Alexandra Shaw, and this is a big night. 11 matches on the docket.
Yes, we are live here from Toronto, Canada for the first pay-per-view special of the M&A era of TNT, and what better way to start off this sort of new era than by giving a golden opportunity to one of these four men.
Could not agree more. Four men who have been either impressive in the current or past regimes of Tuesday Night Titans and the multiverse. And speaking of impressive, while he has not picked up a win yet, can you get more impressive in the ring than Jet Mulligan, the King of New York?
I mean, hey, we know TNT is going to be making its debut in New York City next week. You've got to feel Jet Mulligan. Sure, you can say all you want about how he's had a rough road to get here, but you have to think there would be no bigger hometown hero than if Jet Mulligan could bring that golden ticket with him to the New York State.
Absolutely, and of course the winner of this match will headline Music City Mayhem in Nashville, Tennessee in just 6 weeks' time. And I mean, it's not for nothing, while these are four incredible athletes, they aren't exactly who you pick to be headliners, at least from what we've seen currently. So this is a place that you can just jettison your way right up the card to face some of the all-time greats.
You know, that's the thing. For better or for worse, whatever you feel about the M&A buyout of TNT and various other companies, it's given new opportunities. It's given a new spotlight for people like Jet Mulligan, like the other men we'll be seeing in this match, people who previously wouldn't be sniffing the world title scene. Now, like I said, it's a golden opportunity. And you've got to feel, for a man like Jet Mulligan, who is yet to be able to pick up that pinfall or submission win, there could not be a better match type to secure that gold opportunity than a match as chaotic as this. Ladders everywhere, bodies are going to be flying, and careers could be made here tonight. And this career right here might be one to watch out for.
Jet Mulligan certainly seems like he would be most comfortable in an environment such as a ladder match. He seems like the type of guy who would emulate his career off of the Hardy Boys, off of Edge and Christian. So to see him in a matchup like this is got to be somewhat of a dream match for him, you'd have to assume.
Like I said, regardless of win-loss records, you have to feel if the stipulation benefits anybody, it's that man right there.
And then there is the curious case of Avery Irvin. For some of our new viewers, you may not be familiar with Avery Irvin, but this man at one point in time was pegged to be a future WNW World's Heavyweight Champion. Broke in as a part of V Generation Z, spreading the good word of veganism to the Charlotte, North Carolina audience. However, sustained a very, very nasty injury following a seizure in the ring. Took almost a year off his career. Avery Irvin makes his TNT debut and his return to wrestling here tonight in Niagara Falls.
I mean, hey, you know, not for nothing. What a hell of a way to make your debut, or your re-debut rather, after injury, a match as dangerous as this. Avery Irvin looking to prove that he's not just going to be this fragile, piece of glass when he goes back into the ring. He doesn't want to take it easy. He wants to go in there and show he has not lost a step. And what better way to show you're 100% after your injury than to go into a match as dangerous as this? He talks about being a vegan. He's not going to have to worry about eating any meat in this match, but he might have to worry about getting some steel inserted into his teeth if he's not careful.
Definitely. And then the next man on the docket is another man who's been quite impressive in the past, and people who know him well from his days in PGW. Time to stay hydrated with Will Walker, a former PGW World's Champion who actually ended the reign of another man in this match, Seth Dallas, in somewhat of a shock over a year ago.
Yes, Will Walker, someone who has, we talked earlier about some of these guys maybe not having that World Championship pedigree, but you can't really say that about Will Walker. Like you said, former PGW World Champion. Sure, he's never held gold here in the red brand of TNT, but you can't deny legacy. You can't deny accomplishments. And Will Walker is a very accomplished man. And tonight, he looks to sort of, make up for lost time, pick up where he left off. And what better way to jump right to the front of that line than by Will walking his way up that ladder and grabbing his golden opportunity.
That was ferocious, Alex, but I will tell you what is going to be a lot better is going to be seeing Will Walker, in my opinion, maybe the dark horse of this matchup. A guy who has never competed on a stage as big as Tuesday Night Titan. Seemed like he was relegated forever to PGW. This could be his night.
Well, could be. But you mentioned earlier who he beat for that PGW World Championship. And you've got to feel if there's one man who might be gunning for Will Walker to make sure he doesn't win this match, it's that man right there. The Chopper, Seth Dallas.
Seth Dallas definitely going to be conflicted tonight. I'm sure he's got to focus on this ladder match for the golden opportunity, but also his tag team partner, his mentor, Jason Paradise, way later in the evening is facing Owen Nichols in an MMA rules match. So you have to wonder, with the history that Dallas, Nichols, and Paradise have had, if that's in the back of his mind, or if he is going to be able to free his mind and focus entirely on this golden opportunity that lay at his feet.
I mean, you want to talk about, things on the back of your mind. I think Seth Dallas needs to look for the target that's on his back right now. Because Will Walker has beef with Seth Dallas. I talked to Jet Mulligan earlier today, and he was telling me how he has this long-standing rivalry with Seth Dallas that he has been waiting for a chance to finally see the end of. And now, Seth Dallas walking into this ladder match, it's every person for themselves, but if he's not careful, it could very quickly become every person versus Seth Dallas.
You saw Dallas there look into the camera and say, golden opportunity. And that's exactly what this is. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, because this is a guaranteed headline spot. Not just a championship match, not just the money and fame that comes with it, but truly open opportunity for a chance to make your name here in TNT. And let's get into
Absolutely.
this one.
It's a chance to make or break, and right now, we're seeing Jet Mulligan attempting to break Will Walker before this one even gets started.
A Canadian Destroyer is a hell of a way to start, very in line for what I'd expect from Jet Mulligan. Now we see the big back and forth between the PGW World Champions, and Dallas becomes the second man to head to the outside of the ring. No ladders have been introduced at this point. Seth Dallas nails Will Walker with that cutter on the chair.
Jesus, Seth Dallas, one of the most dangerous men in professional wrestling, not because of his striking power or his ability, although he is wickedly talented and has such precise strikes, but just how creative he can be in finding ways to hurt a person. He's a match like this, as much as we said it benefits Jet Mulligan, you've got to feel once those ladders get in there and once the sort of plunder becomes apparent, Seth Dallas is going to be one to watch.
Seth Dallas, definitely one who will feel so comfortable coming up with all the creativity in his mind, turning it to fruition. Seth Dallas also probably helps that he has no care for his own physical well-being, it would seem, but we have to keep an eye on Jet Mulligan and Avery Irvin. Mulligan throwing Irvin into the steps and then nailing that Yakuza kick on Walker back in the ring. Still no ladders introduced.
No ladders just yet. We've seen, the thing is, you bring in a ladder, sure, you get a chance to use it, but right now when everyone's up, that puts you at a place where if you get taken out, you just introduced the ladder for someone else to use, for someone else to climb that and take your opportunity from you. I think one of these men are trying to find the perfect opportunity, and Will Walker thinks he might have just found it.
Will Walker sliding that ladder in. Avery Irvin opting for a table. While it may not be the smartest move to introduce a table, it can definitely deal a ton of damage and pretty much incapacitate someone for the remainder of the match. No matter how tough you are, that table will take you out, as we see some fantastic agility there by Jet Mulligan.
This is now, we see Jet Mulligan still get spiked, and then Will Walker get dropped by that table. But now Mulligan got the wrist control here. A huge lariat takes down Avery Irvin.
Then a fantastic follow-through on the Kame Goye afterwards. Huge shot there by Will Walker as well. We've seen a lot of action in between, and then a Finley roll on the table. Avery Irvin, for what he lacks in that agility, what he lacks in that Canadian Destroyer there by Dallas, as I was saying, what he lacks in that high-flying prowess, Avery Irvin makes up for in just pure brutality.
And that's what's just made this match, so interesting for all the people leading up to it. All four of these men bring something very unique to this match, but one thing they all bring that's the same is a sense of violence to it. Just different flavors, and it's been interesting so far to see it play out as Jet Mulligan gets dumped on his head, and Will Walker and Seth Dallas, the only men standing, but not for long.
That huge spiking cutter once again lands Will Walker inverted. Jet Mulligan has the ladder, and looks like a little bit of teamwork there on Seth Dallas sends him careening out. The ladder for the first time now set up, and Mulligan thrown right into it.
That's the thing. Now he just set it up. Now Will Walker's got a chance to use it. And you gotta keep in mind, whoever wins this goes up, unless we would say it was a main event later. Whoever wins this faces the winner of that at our next huge show over in Nashville.
Music City Mayhem, the winner of this, will face the winner of Alex Clark and Aiden Flynn. Will Walker is desperate to keep his hands on that briefcase, but it is almost impossible to get it undone when you got someone like Jet Mulligan just beating on your backside, and Walker takes a tumble.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not as easy as you just go up there, unclip the briefcase, and you win. There's a padlock up there to make it just that little bit harder. They all know the combination, but you try entering digits into a padlock when you're that high in the air. Trust me, it ain't easy.
Keep your eyes on Mulligan. What's he got in mind? Go to hell onto Dallas and follow straight with a big running knee strike.
The knees of Jet Mulligan ever dangerous, but Seth Dallas was able to get up rather quickly. And that's the thing. All these men know that they can't afford to stay down for too long. If you aren't on your feet trying to either take someone out or climb that ladder, you aren't trying to win.
Jet Mulligan once again becoming the victim of a Canadian destroyer, truly living up to the namesake of Make or Break live from Niagara Falls. Sold out attendance as well. They are jammed to the rafters and more people still want it in. That is how impactful and how exciting Tuesday Night Titans is.
Yeah, super no vacancy here tonight. And all four of these men already giving this live crowd their money's worth. But right now, Avery Irvin alone at the top of the ladder. The other men too busy beating the hell out of each other.
And Seth Dallas tried to push the ladder over, but Will Walker letting his frustrations get the better of him momentarily. He wants to be the one to take Avery Irvin down, and that nearly cost both men the match. Walker now has Irvin in a bad spot. Huge powerbomb off the top.
Now we see all four men on their feet at the moment. Jet Mulligan finally getting back into this match as Seth Dallas tries to climb. I think Jet Mulligan looking to push it over there.
And a huge powerbomb onto the laid down ladder. Dallas definitely made to pay for his sins there. That is a rough landing no matter who you are. Dangling from the case, inches away from victory and no cigar. And Dallas once again made to pay by Mulligan. Seth catches Mulligan with that cutter on the rebound, though, as Irvin and Walker on the outside, Dallas and Mulligan on the inside.
Another table being introduced into this match by Will Walker as inside the ring, Oxy is settling, connects by Seth Dallas.
Huge landing there, and if I saw correctly with the camera work of cameraman number 6, I believe 5 numbers have been entered on that 8-digit padlock. So certainly on our way to seeing who's going to win the golden opportunity and who is going to headline Music City Mayhem against either Aiden Flynn or Alex Clark.
And now it might be Avery Irvin as he is all alone up there.
Jet Mulligan, the man who's been playing spoiler all night, looks to do it one more time. Another bomb on the ladder, back and neck first. Good God.
And for someone like Irving just coming back from injury, landing head first on the corner of that ladder, that does not bode well for Irving. He seems fine now, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the medical reports for all of these men after this one's through.
That was not a fun landing. Avery Irvin takes down Jet Mulligan, and Dallas could be looking for some clean air. He is heading up. Mulligan's getting up. Can he play spoiler to Dallas for the second time? He's up.
He's going up to meet him. And Jet Mulligan doing all he can.
Jet Mulligan, though, he can't get Dallas off quite yet. Keep your eyes on Mulligan. What in the hell is this? No. Air raid crash!
Oh my god! Both went down. Jet Mulligan trying to get to his feet.
Taken down by Avery Irvin afterwards. What last bit of adrenaline he had is surely wasted at this point. Avery Irvin should go for the case, but he's too busy trying to keep himself and he misses that attempted senton on Dallas. Palm slamming a basketball.
And now this is his chance. Jet Mulligan, the only one standing, as Will Walker now slowly getting to his feet on the outside. And Jet Mulligan, this is sort of what has been happening with Jet Mulligan all these past weeks on TNT. He's not going for the kill. He's not going for the win. He's going for the Styles points. As now, from New York connects.
On the knees of Avery Irvin, missed it by a mile. And a huge blue thunderbomb. Dallas and Irvin going to meet. Will Walker's taking down Avery Irvin. Seth Dallas is a free man at the top. Only one number left. Can he get it done? He will unhook the briefcase and win the Golden Opportunity ladder match.
What a match. What a war from these four men. At the end of the day, Seth Dallas, he was the one to sort of seize that golden opportunity and presented himself, and he took it. And now he will face either Alex Clark or Aiden Flynn in our whoever wins our main event later tonight. But right now, it's not about the main event. It's about that man right there and his golden opportunity in his hands.
And now we get into a battle of who can perform their finisher better as Perk Angle looks to take on Cole Black. And Cole Black has been picking up some points here recently. Cole Black, of course, almost had an opportunity to win the World's Championship, came up just short against Alex Clark. It could be him main eventing, make or break in another place and another time. The former TNT World's Champion makes his way out here.
And Cole Black, he's a guy who, even before I was contacted here to do work for TNT, I had my eye on, I had seen great things from. And you're right, he isn't the one in the main event here tonight for make or break, but it very easily could have been. And I don't think we have seen the last of Cole Black going for that world title. I think whoever wins between Alex Clark and Aiden Flynn, whoever wins that match with Seth Dallas, they need to be keeping an eye on this man right here, because he's someone who, in the very near future, could be knocking on that door.
Absolutely. Cole Black, always one you can never keep your eyes off of. Of course, dethroned Casey Sharp at the first TNT pay-per-view of the old era. And it could not be him here tonight, but he is taking on a legend and a man who many people say he borrowed a lot from.
Here we see the Olympic gold medalist.
The man known as Percules, Perk Angle, making his way down the aisle, the American hero here in Niagara Falls. And this man is just a legend of making or breaking opportunities and your own body. But he debuted a few weeks ago against Scotty Steiner in a losing effort.
Yes, a losing effort, but a match of the year candidate from what we've seen on TNT so far between those two. And here's the thing. You talk about how, one may have borrowed stuff from the other. They both use that Olympic elevated slam as their kill shot. Styles make fights, and these two have very similar techniques, but very different styles. And I am very excited to see how this plays out.
Let's get into this one. Referee Mark Meltzer rings the bell, and these two are already locking horns. You know, Cole Black reminds me of a very young Perk Angle back in the 90s, early 2000s. Someone so full of potential as he locks in a Jujikatami here early.
Yeah, looking for that early wear down of the arm. He knows what Cole Black needs to use to hit that Black Tar Heroin. He knows the technique. So it's going to be interesting to see how Kurt Angle decides to counter that technique, to try and take away Cole Black's best shot.
And I thought he was looking for it there. Huge German into the buckles. Of course, the broken freaking neck of Perk Angle, well known and well publicized. And Cole Black just lacing Perk Angle.
Yeah, but right now, Kurt Angle, he's laced with something a little different as he is right back up, right back fighting with Cole Black. And that's the thing about Perk Angle. It's very difficult to keep this man down for long. You need to sort of find your opening and get it, because you will not be able to get, sustained offense on this guy. You've got to hit these big bombs. And speaking of big, coming up next, our next match will be a big title match, our first of many tonight, as Jamie Clark looks to defend that Grand Championship against Canada's own Christian Cage.
Canada's own Christian Cage is definitely going to be the hometown hero here, but we have no hometown heroes in this matchup as the American hero takes on nobody's hero, Cole Black. And we've seen Black actually pin people off of that head slam before. Just how brutal it is slamming your opponent's head into the mat repeatedly. No care for their own safety.
As these two just going back and forth. You mentioned how it's like two bulls locking horns, and I think that is a great way to put it. These two have just been kind of testing each other back and forth, seeing, what breaks the other first.
Absolutely. And Cole Black, what a transition into that bulldog, showing that he knows the counters to the myriad of suplexes. Gave him the clap, and I think it's time for a lethal dose of poison.
Looking to get the submission victory. It would be a huge win. We see Perk Angle trying to keep his foot on that rope, but just isn't quite able to keep it there, instead having to fight his way out.
And a punch in the top of the head. The bad thing about that chancery that Cole Black utilizes leaves you wide open, and Angle's mad, tossing him like a gorilla over the top rope. That is a rough landing 15 feet below.
And right now, we see them brawling right outside our announce desk. And, gotta say, Jesus, dropped him right on his neck, did Cole Black. These two have just been going back and forth. There's been no stopping.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say there was some genuine hatred here between these two, Cole Black and Perk Angle. What we thought was just a match, Cole Black saying, hey, I do this move better than you. I'm the better version of you. I don't have as many demons, and I am the best in the world currently. But it seems like there is some genuine anger here between these two, as Angle is placed up against the barricade, separating the competitors from the TNT faithful. Huge suplex on the barrier.
And we're seeing all the damage being done to the spine, to the neck of Perk Angle. And you've got to feel that is beginning to add up. He needs that upper body strength. He needs that base to be able to hit that Olympic slam. But right now, the only thing getting slammed is Angle.
And Angle now tossed aside, narrowly missing full contact with those steps. I believe his upper back did hit it. And Cole Black just saying, bring it on. He doesn't feel like he's broken a sweat yet. Perk Angle, his age may be getting to him. I mean, it was almost 30 years ago that he won that Olympic gold in 1996 on the outside. Pepsi twist, splash of lemon on that one. Full flip from Angle.
And that's the thing. I said earlier, styles make fights. Perk Angle can't work as fast-paced or as hard-hitting a style as he was used to be able to. We've not been able to see him get into the ground game, get into his technical side, which he has to rely on. He doesn't have the energy, he doesn't have the physicality of a Cole Black, but you've got to feel he has a lot more in the tank in the mind department as we see him sort of going back to the mind games and now lighting up Cole Black.
You hear him scream at the top of his lungs after hitting that backbreaker, and I think it could be time, Alex, for the first time on the evening. Olympic slam to Cole Black.
He hit all of it, hooks the leg, and chooses to give it up.
What is this man on as he goes to the top and the moonsault? What a connection.
Beautifully executed, hooks the leg again, and Perk Angle not able to get it done.
I don't know if he just did that Olympic slam as a statement piece or if he wanted to deal some extra damage to Cole, but he's got that ankle picked. He has now got the grapevine applied, the most deadly submission move in wrestling history, the Perk Ankle Lock.
It is locked in tight. There is nowhere for Cole Black to go. He's either going to have to try and fight out of this or he's going to have to tap out.
Kicking the hands of Perk Angle. The only way you're going to break that is by breaking his fingers. You see Cole can barely put any weight on his left leg, relying fully on strikes from the right hand, but pushed away by Angle once again. That has been some serious damage done to the leg.
And we talked earlier about how, the intensity, the power of Cole Black and how Perk Angle can't keep up. Now, thanks to that ankle lock, it's Cole Black that's missed a step, but he's still able to keep fighting. You've got to feel now these two very even ground, but we have yet to see the Black Tar Heroin from Cole Black, and that could be the decider.
It absolutely could, especially if he opts to go for the one off the top rope, which we've seen before. Looked like he clouded for the original, bumping noggins, but Angle grabs the ankle again. If he grapevines, it's over, Alex, and it's in.
It's in. It's in deep. Perk Angle not giving Cole Black anywhere to go. And he has to tap out.
Survived one, but couldn't survive the second. Perk Angle gets a big win, though notably, we never saw the Black Tar Heroin from Cole Black. Could we be looking to see a rematch sometime in the future?
Very well, perhaps. That'll be up to the people at Morgan and Associates to decide, but that was a hell of a contest, and what a way for Perk Angle to show, hey, he's not over the hill, he's not washed up, he is still just as good as he used to be, and just what a performance.
And speaking of just as good, maybe trying to see about being washed up, Christian Cage has his first match in TNT in over a year, and the hometown hero of sorts will be taking on Jamie Clark. Christian Cage makes his TNT return, and looks like he's got some company with him. Who is that, Alex?
Well, for those of you who have been following the news as of late, recently signed to TNT as part of their backstage staff, Tommy Hazard, Canadian wrestling legend, same as Christian Cage. And it appears that he is going to be here tonight in Christian Cage's corner. We've heard rumors that he might be making an appearance somewhere in TNT. I don't think anyone expected him to show up in this capacity.
I mean, that's certainly a shock. Six-time world champion Christian Cage, he wouldn't be the guy I would pick to need someone to get backup, but there are certainly worse people to get backup from than Tommy Hazard. And I mean, I don't know if I want to say the deck is stacked against Jamie Clark with how dominant he's been, looking to be the first man to hit 5-0 here on TNT here tonight. But Christian Cage certainly not making it the most fair fight, I think is safe to say.
I mean, we've seen, the Clarks hold a lot of gold here on TNT. Of course, we've got Alex Clark later tonight. And we know that, the powers that be, maybe not the biggest fans of the Clarks. Could this just sort of be a way of trying to shift the power balance here in TNT? Christian Cage, while not a member of M&A, could be fighting on their side for one night only.
That certainly wouldn't be out of the question, Alex. It pays to have friends in high places, and they don't get much higher than Dean Morgan. But then you want to talk about coming off of a high. Jamie Clark in the last 3 weeks has defended the championship once and won 3 singles matches against some of TNT's best. Tony Samuels, Konosuke Takeshita, and Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah, just 3 of the best in the world right now. 3 guys that could be in our main event later challenging for the world title would not seem out of place. Jamie Clark has ran through all of them. And It's going to be interesting to see, though. Very different competitor is Christian Cage to Takeshita, to Samuels, to Bailey. Those are all very hard-hitting, fast-paced fighters. Christian, he's going to make Jamie think on his feet a little bit. You've got to wonder, is he ready for this? Because this could be his most difficult challenge yet.
I don't doubt it, Alex, but it seems to be whenever Jamie Clark dials 585, it is 1, 2, 3. Look at the lights for your opponents. And Jamie Clark, no stranger to championship gold. In the old days of TNT, he was the final grand champion, so very fitting he'd be the first grand champion of the new era. So I mentioned earlier, Christian Cage, 6 times a world champion in 3 different companies. Jamie Clark, never has he ever won a world championship despite trying multiple times. Even came up short against dear old dad once.
And that's the thing you have to keep in mind with Christian Cage compared to other opponents that Jamie Clark has faced. Christian Cage is Jamie Clark's senior in experience by decades. You've got to feel this is going to be the toughest challenge Jamie Clark has faced yet. Not because of the physical difficulty, but because he has never faced someone quite like Captain Charisma.
Jamie Clark has a great deal of pride and a great deal of respect and honor for that grand championship, knows exactly what it represents. And so for him, it is all about walking away with that championship. Ring the bell, Mark Meltzer does, and Christian already starting off with the quick evasions and a fantastic drop kick variation there as well.
Yeah, Christian Cage, like I said, he's not going to be someone to go for this quick out of the gate, fly around the ring. He's sticking it to the punches, to the strikes, keeping Jamie Clark grounded, and not letting him get that opening clearing.
And now Christian taking to the sky for something we don't see often, but an elbow drop to the lower back. Classic Captain Charisma, honing in on the left arm and the lower back. Cage is all over Jamie in these opening measures, though a jawjacker gets Jamie back up only momentarily.
Yeah, we see him targeting that lower back, could be trying to get rid of that Russian bottom we've seen him implement to great effect over the past few weeks over on TNT. Christian, like I said, he's a cerebral competitor that Jamie Clark has never faced before. And just the open hand slap paintbrushing Clark, he's also kind of disrespectful.
Absolutely, and next week, Tuesday Night Titans for the first time ever heads to New York City, live from the Hammerstein Ballroom. So one of these two men could look to head into the first show from Tuesday Night Titans as the grand champion. Big Kame Goye for the first fall of the match, perhaps. Not even 2.
Hammerstein Ballroom, home of ECW, and we've got a former ECW champion here in Christian Cage. You mentioned that Christian Cage, multiple-time world champion. He's done it everywhere. And now he's looking to win some gold here in TNT to continue that legacy. But Jamie Clark right now showing why he's building his legacy here. He has already had a great reign with the Grand Championship, and now he's trying to make sure it doesn't get cut short.
Ow, and Jamie's head misses the barrier by nearly a quarter of an inch. A little more unlucky, and he could have been paralyzed there. Cage pushed back into the ring apron. This one is spilled to the outside, and I mean, if you go back to Jamie's days as the last TNT Grand Champion of the old days, then he truly has elevated that title. I think it's safe to say big BTB on the outside, maybe a little shot at Takeshita, the man who he defended against 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you've also got to keep in mind, though, we're outside the ring right now. You still got that X Factor over in that corner at the top left of your screen. You've got Tommy Hazard there, but right now Jamie Clark has Christian Cage with that backdrop driver.
And Cage with a stabbing knee right to the temple. That is brutal. And now
stabbing
Cage,
is right.
Cage staying on top of him. Could be looking to fly once again. Could he be looking frog splash? No, elbow again, but Jamie got the counter when it mattered. Looked like he was running in for something big, but Cage once again able to stop all momentum with a layout gourd buster.
That gourd buster now laid him out. Christian Cage again going up top, feeling froggy.
And that's the first big hit of the night. We haven't seen much signature offense from either man, but that Guerrero-style frog splash from Cage certainly fits the bill, and back to the arm once again. Going to make it so if Jamie connects at all with one of those signature lariats, it's going to hurt a little more. You see him holding that arm after the landing. went for it, and Cage couldn't move out of the way.
Cage can move, but there you see the X Factor on the outside of the ring. And now Christian Cage back in control. Edge-O-Matic shouts out to a fellow Canadian.
Now Cage could be looking for an unprettier here. Very interesting setup. Oh, a variation of the unprettier onto Jamie Clark. Oh, dog, new tricks, new champion. No, not quite.
And you've got to give the big assist to Tommy Hazard there. Jamie Clark might have had Christian Cage dead to rights off the lariat. Christian back into this match now. Huge splash over halfway across the ring.
And once again, Jamie gets that shoulder up. I cannot believe that Jamie is withstanding all the odds. I was hoping Tommy wouldn't get involved here, but he did. Stopped the 585, though. That is the wiliness of someone like Christian that you just cannot count against.
And you saw him on the outside after that attempted. Oh, wait a second. Back of his head dropped onto that turnbuckle. Jesus.
That is not a fun landing, especially for a man with a history of neck issues and concussions. Telling him how he really feels with those mud hole stomps and goes for the pin.
Goes into the cover. Is that enough? No. Christian Cage still got some lights on up there after falling that hard fall on his head. But Jamie Clark might be looking to go lights out in a second. 585 once again blocked by Christian Cage. The grappling able to save him twice now. Oh, running headbutt though takes him down.
That's why a 585, any maneuver with a discus is so dangerous. You're giving up your back to your opponent. Didn't get all of it. Cage still standing. Jamie making a lot of mistakes we haven't seen him make in the past. Is this emblematic of the fact that Tommy has it maybe in his head as we see a little bit of red?
Yeah, you see now, if it wasn't hard to hit that 585 before, with blood in your eyes, it'll be more difficult. He might not get the chance. Frog Splash connects. Do we have a new champion? No, in the ropes was Jamie Clark. Christian Cage not able to get it just yet.
Christian Cage incensed. White Russian leg sweep onto Jamie Clark. Clark still fighting. He's got blood in his eyes. He's hurt. He's frustrated. But he's gonna stay in it. Russian bottom to Christian Cage.
Lands some hooks the leg. And Jamie Clark not able to get it done.
But that could be the prelude to the ultimate destiny. Could it be 585 time? He hasn't hit it once all night. And he won't hit it again. Huge kick from Cage.
But now we see arms trapped Northern Lights from Clark, not letting Cage get a chance to capitalize. And now just looking to stomp his chest in.
That is just brutal on the capillaries. Huge kick from the side of the head. Cage has him up. Goes to try and spin him around. Maybe looking for another unpretty or nobody home. Huge kick. These two are just going hell for leather. Downward spiral. Takes Clark down.
And Cage once again goes to turn him around once again. Jamie Clark not wanting to give his back to Christian Cage. He knows what happens if that does. Huge Death Rider drops him on his head. And now he's trying to bust open Cage. He's trying to make him feel the same pain he's felt.
Those little rabbit punches to the side of the head may not seem like they do a lot of damage, but Christian Cage may not even care. Has him hooked again. Could be looking for the variation, that rolling unprettier that we saw him utilize earlier. That could be a new champion right there, Alex.
Center of the ring, and Christian, no! Christian not able to get it.
At the last possible second, but he's not done. He's got him in his sights. Could it be going for the kill? Hooks the arms. Unprettier for the third time. Classic variation. 1, 2. New champion, Christian Cage.
And you know, you've got to give props where it's due to Christian Cage, but you also have to chalk up the assist to the man on the outside, Tommy Hazard. And you've got to feel Dean Morgan smiling from ear to ear at this development. What a match. Yeah, I agree. What a match. Jamie Clark has nothing to be ashamed of here. And it's going to be very interesting to see who will be the first to step up to the Instant Classic.
And up next, we've got a matchup to crown an inaugural champion as Isaiah Oxley, Aaron Wesley, Nicky Diamond, and Marco Rodriguez, the men who made it to the finals of the National Championship Series, do battle in our second and final four-way of the evening. Nicky Diamond, the Diamond Daddy, makes his way down the aisle, Alex.
And I've got to say, Diamond Daddy, Nicky Diamond has been very impressive over these last few weeks here on TNT. And he's someone who always, I feel, has come very close to reaching that upper echelon. Never quite got the chance to do it, but now, the chance to be the first national champion? Well, that would be one hell of a way to get this sort of new era started for Nicky Diamond.
Absolutely. Nicky Diamond, a former United States champion, though it definitely came at the lowest point of his life, battling addiction, battling myriad of injuries, but he's cleaned up and the fans certainly respect him now. It's tough to remember, but Nicky Diamond was once the catalyst for one of the most dominant stables in TNT history, producing 2 world champions and 2 U.S. champions.
Absolutely, and hey, he has a chance to now, on his own, become national champion. The first national champion, and hey, that's something you can etch a diamond, all right, saying you're the first of any lineage.
Absolutely, and the next man making his way down the aisle, the Magician, a former national champion mind back in the WNW days, defeating Ted Cannon for that prize.
Yes, Marco Rodriguez, no lack of confidence here from this man, and you mentioned he's got a history with this belt, although not under the TNT banner, not under the TNT branding. He does have history, and now he is looking to get reacquainted with that history.
Marco Rodriguez and Aaron Wesley teamed up together on the most recent episode of TNT Weekly in a successful bidding over Isaiah Oxley and Nicky Diamond, but I'll have to wonder if that supposed friendship, supposed alliance will play over at all in this 4-way elimination matchup.
I very well could, especially with that elimination stipulation, get down to just the 2 of you. But I don't know, at the same time, it's every man for himself at the end of the day. You can't trust anyone to keep their word in this type of match.
Absolutely. This business is a business built on self-improvement, self-elevation, and a man who's elevated himself a lot in TNT, gained a lot of notoriety in a little amount of time is Aaron Wesley. I mean, we saw him do battle with Zach Anderson, and he absorbed some of the most lethal strikes in the business, got up, asked for another 3 separate times en route to a win.
Yeah, he has shown, you said self-improvement, but he has shown himself to be an absolute monster. Look at this dude. He is jacked to the gills in every phrase that means. He is huge. And honestly, if you're the 3 other guys, you might have to team up on this dude because he might be bigger than all of them.
Absolutely. And then there's the last entrant, the man who claims there is a conspiracy against him. It's only the man that they call Oxley. Isaiah Oxley makes his way down the aisle. And Alex, I gotta ask, do you think there's any validity to these conspiracy rumors?
At the end of the day, for Isaiah Oxley, conspiracy or not, whether or not I believe him or not, he needs to try and just focus on himself. Sure, maybe there is a conspiracy against you. Maybe you do have opportunities not given to you, but right now you've got this opportunity. If there's conspiracy against you, it didn't stop you from getting here, which means it won't stop you from winning. You have to seize this moment and become the first national champion. Otherwise, you have no one to blame but yourself.
I mean, at this point, it's adapt or die. Step up or step aside. Make or break, if you will. And these 4 men will look to do just that. Elimination-style matchup. Winner becomes the first national champion. And Marco starts off with that Acai DDT. Big move. And that was almost Oxley done and dusted.
Almost. And that's the thing. These matches are so chaotic, but they can also be quick. This isn't like your normal Fatal 4-Way where you're going to have two other guys you have to worry about breaking up pinfalls. People want you to succeed to a certain point. They want to see Marco Rodriguez eliminate Isaiah Oxley. They don't want to see Marco Rodriguez become national champion.
Absolutely, and I believe that Nikki Diamond went for the daddy issues there on Aaron Wesley, but could not get the big hoss off. And a huge lariat turns him inside out. Good Lord.
Now goes into the cover, does Nikki Diamond, but not enough. And that's what we're going to be seeing from a lot of these guys, is these, rapid covers. You want to sort of, if you can get this down to 3 people, and you can take that moment to just sort of stay back and let the other 2 guys beat the crap out of each other, you're in a good spot. So you want to get that elimination as quick as possible.
That power on display by Aaron Wesley is even more impressive when you remember Nikki Diamond, 6'4", 270. That's an above average human being, and he picks him up like he was nothing, lifts him up, ground zero from Wesley.
Into the cover, and ground zero might give us our first elimination. No.
And I think Oxley might have just got a bloody nose there, judging by the referee seeming like he was checking on Oxley. Wesley throws Diamond into the corner and puts him on the top rope. Ill intentions, but Diamond gets himself down.
Able to escape is Nikki Diamond. And now going for the half and half, not able to get it.
You know what I like the most about this matchup, Alex, I gotta say, is any 2 of these guys can easily make for an incredible inaugural championship matchup. Any combination they're in, but Dean Morgan in his infinite wisdom has decided, put the 4 best competitors together, let them duke it out, and the winner becomes champion. And I really like that.
And right now I just saw the spiral tap there from Marco Rodriguez. You've got to feel Isaiah Oxley nearly was just eliminated. Able to stay alive for now, but maybe not for long. Into the cover. 2, no. And now we see up top, Aaron Wesley power on display.
Stalling superplex. That is incredible power. And he's rightfully going for the pin on Nikki Diamond. That could be the first elimination, but not quite. Marco and Oxley on the outside. Of course, this is falls can occur anywhere. So referee Mark Meltzer is going to have his head on a swivel.
And I mean, you mentioned how Dean Morgan put all these guys together, and I agree. Normally when you see these 8-man tournaments, it ends, quarterfinals, semifinals, and then a 1v1 final. But no, we got the 4 qualifiers into a Fatal 4-Way. We're going to be leaving here with 1 national champion, and it'll be one of these 4 men.
Absolutely, and then you've got a lineup right there of ready, set contenders as well. Any one of these 3 men who doesn't walk away with the championship could make a reasonable claim, you'd have to assume, at that championship. One for the huge Asai DDT, but a power slam by the Diamond Daddy. Not able to connect, could be looking for something big here.
Got him hooked up, powerbomb style, reverses it, sneaks into a cover, double pin happening in the ring. Nothing doing for either competitor.
That could have just went from Fatal 4-Way to 1v1 just like that as Marco Rodriguez introduces a ladder. I think he may have gotten mixed up with the Golden Opportunity match earlier, which we saw Seth Dallas come out victorious. But now 2 men on the outside. Nikki Diamond slamming Marco right on that ladder.
I mean, hey, you want to talk about ready, set, challengers. We saw the other 3 men that maybe weren't able to pick up the win in that match prove why they should still be in the conversation. And who knows, maybe we'll see one of them step up. But right now, we might be seeing Marco Rodriguez eliminated. No, Aaron Wesley getting in Nikki Diamond's way, inadvertently saving Marco.
And once again, look for the daddy issues on Aaron Wesley, but could not get it. Aaron's so big. Nikki Diamond unable to even pick him up, and Nikki Diamond's a strong man. I mean, he's jacked to the gills. Asai DDT by Marco.
And now into that cover, and Nikki Diamond able to kick out.
Absolutely able to get that shoulder up, and Aaron shattering that Singapore cane on Isaiah Oxley, who stayed standing.
Isaiah Oxley, one of the toughest, one of the baddest dudes on the planet. Very hard to keep this man down, but he might be put into the ground with ground zero. Into the cover, outside leg hooked, but not enough.
Isaiah Oxley, so resilient, a former Intercontinental Champion in the old days of TNT, knows exactly what it takes to get to the top. Though, I mean, Isaiah Oxley was a ghost for almost a year after losing that Intercontinental Championship. It seemed like we would never hear from him, and I have to wonder if Isaiah may be in his own head sometimes too much as he throws Marco into the corner. What does he have in mind here?
Got him in the tree of woe. We see Nicky Diamond taking this moment to just have a breather. He knows the onus isn't on him. Everyone's looking at Isaiah Oxley, who might be looking to go coast to coast across the ring. Saying a little prayer to the man upstairs as he drop kicks him all the way across.
I cannot believe what we have just seen. Isaiah Oxley nailing that coast to coast. Marco's got to be done, right? You are kidding me. There's no way.
And that's what the National Championship means to all four of these men. You will do superhuman things and you will survive superhuman things to get that title around your waist. There's only ever going to be one first National Champion, and it's going to be one of these four men. Half and half Spikes Oxley. Into the cover
Oxley
goes Diamond.
Right. How? Are you kidding me? Mark Meltzer, you may have to step in for Oxley's own good. That was dead to rights. I would have bet anything in the world. And now Oxley being teamed up on by Wesley and Diamond. This is just, at what point does this conspiracy start to become a reality? Oh no. Shoes on the floor, my God.
Got the cover. Referee needs to be able to see the shoulders.
And on the other side of your screen, Marco Rodriguez just got powerbombed to New York with that bomb over the top. That could be him done right there. And he kicks out.
None of these men choosing to stay down. All of them hearts of warriors here tonight. You can rest assured whoever the first national champion is, they're gonna be a good one, and it might not be Marco Rodriguez as the ground zero connects on the outside, and he still kicks out.
I don't believe what we're seeing at this point, Alex. I mean, like, I've heard some people say, oh, the national title's just a mid-card title. It's not the world championship. These four men would beg to differ. These four men are showing you exactly what this title means to be the first on the ladder.
Into the cover.
Diamond, the first eliminated. Marco Rodriguez onto Aaron Wesley.
And now Marco
and Aaron's back up.
You mentioned how he went up against the most deadly striker in the game, and Zach Anderson, and kept getting up for more. It takes a lot to keep this man down. It takes a lot to keep Isaiah Oxley down, but that lariat to the back of the head might just be enough.
Slice and Dice claims a second victim, and the two biggest men in this match are out. But Marco Rodriguez, the man who just 7 days ago back in Boston pinned Isaiah Oxley with the spiral tap in that tag team matchup between the four contenders, and how fitting it comes down to these two as Oxley grabs a Singapore cane, and I think he just busted open Marco with an Aaron shot to the eye.
These two men going hell for leather right now. And listen, you talk about some people don't understand the prestige of the national title, but it proves you're the hardest working man on the roster. And Isaiah Oxley looking to prove it's him, looking to show one more feat of lunatic daring to prove that there's no one that wants this more than him.
Can he even see? You see the blood in his eyes saying a prayer. Don't do this, man. Think about it. Think about it. Coast to coast. Marco Rodriguez. He's limp. He's not moving. That's got to be it, right?
Into the cover. Hooks the outside leg. And Oxley has won.
Oxley picking up all 3 eliminations en route to becoming the first national champion. That right there is a man possessed. And I could think of nobody more fitting. Alex, I'm going to politely ask that we just give this man a moment to bask in his own glory, because that was incredible.
What a match, what a victory from Oxley. And, wait a second, do you see something on the stage?
No.
That's Dean Morgan!
What the hell is Dean Morgan doing out here? No.
Wait, look at the ring!
Oh my God, is that who I think it is? Is that the prize fighter of M&A, Keith Lee, in the ring? This is a national title match. Is this even sanctioned? This isn't right.
Dean Morgan sanctioned, he's the boss around here, and Keith Lee! I mean, you want to talk about conspiracies, you want to talk about Isaiah Oxley claiming there's a conspiracy against him. He just goes through hell, and now the crown jewel of M&A gets a title shot!
The Big Bang Catastrophe!
Catastrophe's right, this is
ungodly! There is no way! I'm disgusted.
Well, disgusted or not, conspiracy proven or not, we have a new national champion. And now we have to see if we're going to be having a new tag champion. Every title defense tonight ended in a title changing hands. Can Melbourne Switchblades do the same?
Alex, I'm not gonna lie, it took every bit of professionalism I had to not step up and walk away from this, because that was disgusting.
I mean, we've seen M&A have their fingers all over tonight's show. Christian Cage getting walked out by Tommy Hazard, and we see now Keith Lee getting pretty much handed the national championship on a silver platter. But now we move on to a match, no M&A involvement at all. A tag team match for the TNT Tag Team titles of the world.
The Melbourne Switchblades have been the most impressive tag team on TNT thus far. Picked up a win in their debut against the Murder City Machine Guns. Then Matthew Miller's outlasting the six-pack challenge against 6 other prospective tag teams to get this opportunity. And then just last week, Michael Miller's picking up a win over Mountain Mike. So they seem to have the Mountain Men's numbers.
Very well could, but I don't think these two care much for numbers or learned things. They're here to inflict some pain on the Melbourne Switchblades. And hey, they won those titles for a reason, beating NFT, beating Noah Kakoa and Jay Scott to become those tag team champions, and now they're looking to defend them.
Absolutely, winning in a ladder match, the first official title change of TNT, will always belong to the Mountain Men. And I mean, in a way, they were the catalyst for the violent breakup of NF Team, which we'll see come to a head later tonight in the NOFTA Q. But Mountain Men, I'm certain, are not sparing a single thought to Jay Scott or Noah Kakoa. They are all about violence and brutality and keeping those belts around their waists.
Yes, and that's the belts on display. Some would argue the most prestigious tag belts in America, the TNT Tag Team titles, as now Melbourne Switchblades look to etch their name into the legacy. As dubious as maybe the sum of the title defenses have been here tonight, no champion has successfully retained. The odds are on the side of the Melbourne Switchblades, but you've also got to think, just looking from a pure physical perspective, the advantage is for the Mountain Men.
I mean, you look at the Melbourne Switchblades, Michael Miller's the bigger man of the two by a country mile, and he's not even as big as Mountain Sam, who's the little guy of the Mountain Men. So they're going to be, no matter what orientation you find yourself in, the smaller men in this matchup. Mountain Mike, of course, did submit to Michael Miller's just last week in Boston in a huge opportunity. 20 minutes on the clock, single fall to a finish. And you know what, Alex? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think that these two teams are exactly what this tag team division needs. Two fresh faces who wouldn't have gotten these kind of opportunities in the old TNT. It's just plain and simple to see. But they're getting opportunities now, and that is just incredible. And I got to say, thank you to Dean for that.
Well, yes, regardless of how many people might or might not think of Dean Morgan, you can't deny this new wave of TNT has provided a lot of new opportunities. Teams like the Melbourne Switchblades, like the Mountain Men, teams, people like Jet Mulligan, who we saw in our opening contest. We have seen a whole new crop of new faces here, and right now we might be seeing some new faces holding some gold here in TNT, but the Melbourne Switchblades are going to have to drastically change their game plan because they can't rely on one of them being the bigger man and coming in for this last-minute save of the day. They need to find a way to wear down the Mountain Men before they get worn out themselves.
Absolutely. In the ring, Mountain Sam and Michael Millers, but Michael tagging out to Matthew, his younger brother coming in. Matthew Millers is just one of the most explosive high flyers I've ever seen, but he is just getting tossed around like a rag doll by Mountain Sam.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You normally see with these teams where there's a big size difference between the two. The bigger competitor, they'll stay on the outside for longer because they don't have as big of a gas tank. Meanwhile, one of the smaller competitors like we see in the ring right now, they're able to go in there and they're able to drain out the other team, make them lose their energy, and then by the time the other team's all worn out, you tag in the big man and he cleans up house. But right now, when you're both the little guy, you've got to find a new way to strategize. You've got to find a new game plan to target. And right now, they just have not done that as the Mountain Men have been dominant.
And Mountain Sam just carrying Matthew Millers like a small child, delivering a pair of consecutive backbreakers. And now Big Bad Mountain Mike back in the ring, just tossing him down. That's an imposing jib right there, cut by Mountain Mike. 450, 6'3". That's a mountain man, tell you that much.
Yeah, that's the thing. These two guys, aren't maybe the smartest fighters, aren't maybe, the most strategic, but they have just the absolute size to just go in there and do what they want.
Huge exploder there by Mountain Mike. Maybe a little more technical than I was expecting. 3 minutes in, and we almost saw a retention. Mountain Sam was in there for the save, but Matthew Miller's not saved by his brother Michael. Keep your eyes on Matthew. Huge handspring commentary. Look at these shots on display by Matthew Miller's, taking Mountain Mike to a knee, and the forearm takes him down fully. That is something new that we have definitely just seen there. Matthew Miller's taking him down.
Yeah, and now we see, now that they're able to get them down, this gives the Melbourne Switchblades a chance to sort of strategize, to find that game plan that's going to work against the Mountain Men, because they cannot afford to keep having this happen, the dominance, the power on display. You can't have that happen. You need to get into the driver's seat as soon as possible. Goes for the Goozle, not able to get it. And now just clubbing forearm to the back, and more just strikes to the back, not able to get him off his feet just yet.
And you see Michael Miller's resorting back to his old chestnuts of those heavy strikes, those clubbing blows, those power moves. And while they're having some effect on Mountain Mike, you have to imagine they'd be more effective on a guy who was a little smaller or closer in stature, maybe like a Mountain Sam. But now, variation on the Destino, perhaps? No, just out through a regular inverted DDT does Matthew Miller's, and a huge splash to the back as well.
We're seeing the Millers right now doing the most they can as he picks up Mountain Sam. Huge kick to the head. These kicks staggering him, but not able to get him down. And that's the thing, they have to work so hard just to get the Mountain Men off their feet.
Big Rana there by Matthew Millers takes down Mountain Sam. We saw him go for that roundhouse kick earlier. Look at the power! Caught him out of midair, snatched him, and bombed him. That right there is what you call a difference maker. Mountain Sam, good God.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They have to work so hard to get the Mountain Men off their feet. Mountain Men, they just need to counter one move, land one big strike, and the Melbourne Switchblades are down on the mat. That's why they've got to work so much harder, which now we see Goozle and just tossed across the ring. Sauced and tossed, but not able to get the three.
That was just a scary amount of nonchalant powers. We see just over 5 minutes have elapsed. We've seen the Mountain Men operating like a well-oiled machine, whereas the Melbourne Switchblades seem like their game plan is entirely just run your entire gas tank out, go back for a refuel while the other guy does it. I don't know how I feel about that strategy as it's played out so far.
It's a strategy that can work, but it's not one that can work long term. They need to find something more sustainable, or they need to end this one. As the big splash connects, maybe this could be a start of a rally for the Melbourne Switchblades as he looks to bring him over to his friendly corner.
And now Mountain Sam with just 2 big strikes gets back into it, and a Hangman's Neckbreaker is brutal. And so close to that tag, but Mountain Sam playing expert tag team game. And I think that is a bloody nose on the face of Matthew Millers.
Nothing fancy from the Mountain Men, just brutality, trying to make him bleed, trying to make him bruise, trying to make him hurt. And they are succeeding at doing just that.
And it seems like he's got a bloody second win, does Matthew Millers, as he managed to take down the humongous Mountain Mike. And still to come, speaking of bloody, it is going to be the MMA rules match between Owen Nichols and Jason Paradise. Look at that tornado to the back! My God, what a landing.
That's later tonight, but we might have new champions right now. No! Mountain Men able to hold on.
You know, I often compare Matthew Millers to a young Chris Kanyon, who, if he was a lot smaller, just always innovating. I've never seen a tornado to the back, and that right there is any other night on any other man, that'd be a win. Now Michael heading to the top, a little bit of unfamiliar territory for him. What does he have in mind here?
Like we said, you got to switch up the game plan when you don't have the size you normally have. As the elbow connects, that could be enough to do it. Mountain's been down for a while. No.
And they have been targeting that back of Mountain Mike. I cannot say that I blame them. That's a very good strategy. Has him hooked, arm trapped, transitions to a cutter. Another very interesting maneuver there by Michael Millers. What does he have in mind here? The kick. He could do anything for this position, Alex.
Yeah, we see it. Tiger Driver 2022 connects onto Mountain Mike. But Sam at the last second able to break it up.
And that's how devastating a maneuver like the Tiger Driver 22 is. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody kick out of that maneuver. So Mountain Sam definitely playing the good tag team partner by breaking it up as Matthew Millers heads back in. And they have been co-opting a little bit of the Mountain Men strategy by quick tags. And Mountain Sam sent careening back out once again.
Yeah, and now we see, looking at the waistlock here, White Russian Pipe Sweep brings him down, and that's the thing. You can't use your power. You've got to just sort of use some technique to bring down the Mountain Man as he goes for the discus elbow, not able to get it, goes for the springboard, not able to connect with that either. Neither man able to land it, and now Exploder into the corner.
That was devastating. Mountain Mike desperate to get out. He's been in the ring for a considerable amount of time.
Just now, big kick, drops the challenger. Now looking to pull him away from the ropes. Could we be on the brink of a retention here tonight for the Mountain Men?
Goes in for the cover. Michael Miller's in for the break, though. Mountain Mike a little too slow for the break, but Michael sent over the top. And Matthew fighting with the heart of a warrior. He let his guys off of Mountain Sam for just a second, and it's going to cost him as now Mountain Sam lifting him up and over. Michael Miller's into the neck breaker.
What a counter, and that's where he can use his size, can use his speed to his advantage. Drop kick, doesn't drop Sam. Floats through, DDT spikes him.
Matthew Miller's taking down Mountain Sam with that fantastic rolling DDT. Now the two more evenly matched competitors in, and look at the teamwork there. Matthew Miller's pulling the rope down, sending Mountain Sam careening over. Invaluable tag team of a brotherly bond, that is. Mountain Sam getting back in. Matthew Miller's even allowing him to get back in, not going for anything dirty. This is a very respectful tag team contest, despite what you may be led to believe.
And now we see him dragging him down to the outside. You've got to feel, if you keep poking the bear that is Mountain Sam enough, eventually you're going to get bit 1-for-1. But right now, he is getting caught powerbombed by Sam. drops the challenger. Are we going to still have tag champions? No.
Kick out at 1 by Michael Miller's emphatic. And now just shots to the nose of Michael Miller's. We know Matthew bleeding quite heavily. And now Michael Miller's dragged to the Mountain Men's corner. Could we be looking to see some tag team offense here? I don't like the way this is going. A huge avalanche.
No.
Good God, that compacting
Rushing him.
That was
And now
brutal.
that we see the tag, a tag out of desperation, it seems like Sling Blade. And now the Melbourne Switchblades may be on their last gasp here, as the other member, you've got to be on some crushed ribs.
Michael desperate to get away. Matthew with a huge Rana. That could be looking to steal one off the top of Rana. 2. Not quite. Mountain Mike nearly put down with that avalanche Rana. Out of nowhere, Destiny. No!
Into the cover, hooks the outside leg. We've got new champions. Melbourne Switchblades.
Mountain Sam just a little too gassed to get in to make the cover, and that is now 3 for 3 on new champions. What a match.
What a match between these two teams. And like you said, 3 for 3 for new champs tonight. Could we be seeing a theme here at Make or Break?
And Alex, in our next contest, we have got the NOFTA match, the No FTDQ between Noah Kakoa and Jay Scott. And would you believe that this blood feud started all over selling someone else's NFTs on the blockchain?
I mean, listen, you know how expensive those JPEGs can be. That's a lot of money that belonged to Jay Scott that is now lining the pockets of Noah Kakoa. And hey, we've seen a lot of M&A success here tonight. We know that Noah Kakoa wants to join the good graces of M&A. Maybe, you know, he's got some luck on his side.
I will say, though, it was pretty cold-hearted seeing two stalwarts of M&A, Aiden Flynn and Jet Thorne, just leave him to die at the hands of Jay Scott last week in Boston on TNT 1.5. But, I mean, I can't say that I entirely blame them. They've got big matches here tonight that they've got to prepare for. Not that Noah Kakoa doesn't, of course. I mean, this is a huge match. Most expensive match on the card, for sure.
Say what you will about M&A, and you know, everyone's got some moral code, and you don't sell another man's NFTs. It's just not something you do. And I think M&A are at least able to recognize that. But right now, what we have to recognize is this is a man on a mission in Jay Scott. He, you know, you could put blame either way in how this ended up. Jay Scott letting his honor get in the way, being that fighting champion, cost them those tag team titles. He could have been the one defending against the Melbourne Switchblades here tonight, but instead, they lost it to the Mountain Men. He lost his tag partner. He lost his NFTs. Now he has a chance to get some redemption.
Absolutely, and of course, this one, the referee's only here to call the finishing bell. Jay Scott looking to put an end to it early with the Adam Smasher.
The next right off the bat hooks deep for the cover, but not enough.
Referee was a little slow to cover there. Mark Meltzer already seen a lot of frenetic action here tonight. Maybe cost him in the end. Jay not satisfied with just one. He's going to go 2 Adam Smashes on Noah Kakoa.
Looking to end this one as quick as possible. And 2 straight. Noah Kakoa still got some fight in him.
Noah Kakoa felt the same pain that Jay Scott did when he saw all his NFTs gone from the blockchain, his bank account empty, and the Sigma Male grind set came to an end. Now just targeting the arm of Noah Kakoa.
Yeah, the grind set came to a grinding halt, but right now he's grinding Noah Kakoa to a fine pace in that ring. Kakoa not been able to get out of the starting gate yet in this match, but now looking to put his power on display with the slam.
Big slam there by Noah Kakoa after taking 2 Adam Smashes back-to-back. Can't feel good. Jay Scott has his wrist trap, takes a knee. Laying in some shots to get back to a vertical base.
Now Main event spinebuster by Jay Scott. Goes into the cover quickly. Jay Scott not wanting to waste any time. He wants this one over as quick as possible. You talked about the grind. That's the grind set there.
Shining elbow, and I mean, we throw back to the six-man tag team main event last week on TNT. You had, M&A, stalwarts, Jet Thorne and Aiden Flynn, former world champions, Alex Clark, current world champion, BHJ, a top contender. Noah Kakoa has Jay Scott up for the Hawaiian drop.
Into the cover, and hey, we could be seeing a victory right here. No.
Not quite able to get it done. As I was saying, you see those four men who have been in and around the World Heavyweight Championship, then Noah Kakoa and Jay Scott, two men who could very much be on the rise. And I mean, they performed incredibly well in that match. Alabama slam from Noah Kakoa. I mean, I don't think it's out of the question to say that one or two of these guys could definitely be in the headlines in a few weeks. Music City Mayhem, could we see one or two of these guys in a main event title position? Certainly not out of the realm of possibility, Alex.
Absolutely not. We've seen plenty of great competition here tonight. And hey, we've got a new grand champion, new national champion. We could see a new challenger being decided between one of these two men as Jay Scott tosses Noah Kakoa across the ring like a goddamn ragdoll. And now huge lariat connects. And another. Noah Kakoa not able to get anything going here. The boot gets caught and the Kakoa gets dropped.
Huge leg sweep there. Goes in for the lateral. Does Jay Scott. Could he get the three here? Not quite. Kakoa able to kick out. I will say, I was expecting this match to be a little more violent, but Jay Scott's such an orthodox competitor. Maybe that was a bit of something that was an unrealistic expectation, though Jay Scott does take it back to the outside. Mark Meltzer joins him out there. I mean, this can end anywhere in the arena. Mark Meltzer just there to call the pinfall, or if absolutely necessary, stop it if the wrestler's safety comes into question.
Now, Jay Scott suplexes him, tosses him, and sauces him. And here's the thing, you mentioned the lack of weapons. You've got to feel that's because Jay Scott has been in control. You've got to feel Noah Kakoa of the two men more likely to find some plunder and use it to his advantage. And that just sort of goes to show how this split happened. One man wanting to fight the honorable way, and one man looking to win by any means necessary. As Kakoa pulls out the steel chair, and Jay Scott able to disarm him for now.
Saw Jay's head get very well acquainted with that turnbuckle post. He managed to disarm Kakoa, but Kakoa, now look at the power. This is just ungodly. Look at this. And dropping Jay down. Huge Rana by Scott. Scott back in control now. Grabs Noah. Kakoa looked for the road to redemption, but got some elbows to the jaw instead and just tossed into the steps. That's rough.
You see him going back for that chair. And now Noah Kakoa looking for the run up here with the chair. Big headshot. Jay Scott barely able to get the hands up in time.
Jay Scott got hit very hard with that chair off the incredible run up from Noah Kakoa. Right back. That was hellacious. Oh my God. That chair is bent. That's the doofiest looking chair I've seen in some time. My God.
I mean, that's these two men both now sort of biting the forbidden fruit of steel in this match. The Not the Q match finally going into that no DQ territory.
Noah Kakoa has been unafraid. Look at that chair. I mean, that right there, you can't fake that. That is pure brutality and hatred that can only really be met when some man you called your friend cost you so much money on the blockchain. Jay Scott here with the back suplex on the floor, the nip up, and the jumping leg drop as well.
And we've seen Jay Scott keep control for most of this match, using his sort of more standard technical wrestling ability over Noah Kakoa. But Noah Kakoa has been shown that when he does get opportunities, he has seized them. As we see a cover here from Jay Scott, might be all for nothing. Jay Scott able to pick up the win over Noah Kakoa. And like I said, Noah Kakoa is able to find his openings and seize opportunities, but Jay Scott, the better man here tonight.
Jay Scott had to maybe break his own moral code to get a symbolic win over the man who cost him so much. Big win for Jay Scott, and I expect to see big things from him in the future.
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea how NFTs even work. But what I do know is this triple threat contest is set to possibly steal the show. Connor Gates, Konosuke Takeshita, and Mike Bailey all looking to prove why they should be in contendership for some gold here once we go to New York.
Absolutely. Konosuke Takeshita has been in some of the best matches in the early days of TNT. Even had that barn burner with Jamie Clark 2 weeks ago where he narrowly lost the opportunity to become the grand champion. Konosuke Takeshita, a guy to keep your eye on, a walking instant classic machine. And I mean, this right here is, you mentioned it earlier, this three-way dance could steal the show. Three of the best in the world today. I'm excited for this one, Alex. I'm not even going to pretend like I'm not.
Absolutely, and also a bit of a clash of the world over. We've got Japan, we've got Canada, we've got England, and all three of them clashing here tonight. Only one will be able to come out on top, and this is shades of earlier in TNT when we had Takeshita, Jet Mulligan, and Michael Young in that triple threat match. Takeshita came out on top, but these two men have never faced anyone quite like Connor Gates.
Connor Gates, the anarchist. This man is unpredictable, a former TNT Intercontinental Champion. You know, we mentioned earlier Isaiah Oxley became something of a ghost after losing the Intercontinental Championship. You want to talk about falling off due to unfortunate circumstances. Connor Gates was the workhorse of early TNT. You can flash back to his Instant Classic series with Nigel McGuinness, their all-time great 5-star 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental title. But after he lost to Connor Gates, fell off the face of the earth, so maybe looking to reestablish himself here. And then, Alex, I'm going to let you take the stage on this one. Tell me about Speedball Mike Bailey.
Well, here we see Canada's own Speedball. And listen, this man has been, in my humble opinion, the most unsung hero of professional wrestling for the last decade. The most underrated wrestler of the last decade. Not been able to ply his trade in America for over 5 years, and the second he does, he breaks out into the scene and becomes a star. We saw him as the last MWWA World Champion. Now he has a chance to get some gold here in TNT. We saw him have a great effort against Jamie Clark. And now we will have to see if he can beat Konosuke Takeshita and Connor Gates and possibly earn himself a chance to get some more gold. If there was ever a man more picture perfect for the national title than Speedball Mike Bailey, I haven't seen him.
And while Speedball, normally a very honorable competitor, we did see him use a banned technique by the Massachusetts State Athletic Commission. Having full control of your opponent's wrist while delivering shots to the kidney is very contentious and seemed to rile up Jamie Clark, which led to him ultimately losing that matchup. So, I mean, I hope that Speedball has gotten that out of his system because I hated seeing him stoop so low.
I mean, it could also just be, you know, like I said, he's not used to the different commissions of America yet. He's only been wrestling here for the last year or so. Over here in Canada, things are a little looser. You know, they don't need to play by the rules as much. Speedball, he's still finding that learning curve.
Absolutely. And, you know, you throw back to Konosuke Takeshita and Mike Bailey earlier in the summer of 2022, 93 till infinity, one of the all-time instant classic matches of the year of Bailey, the year of Takeshita here in America. And we see a little bit of a revisiting of that as Speedball takes down Konosuke Takeshita there. And even has some time to hit a moonsault as well. Fantastically done. Connor Gates and Speedball, talk about a dream match. Locking eyes with Connor getting the advantage.
Yeah, and you've got to feel for both these men, they have got to be looking out. You know, they don't want to be put in the splash zone, so to speak. Because if you're in the splash zone for that ultimate weapon, it's lights out every time. And neither of these men want to be caught by that.
Absolutely, and this one already spilling to the floor, to the ringside area. Mike Bailey on an island by himself as Takeshita takes on Connor Gates. You know, I mentioned earlier in the national title match how any one-on-one matchup therein could have made a great title match. I think any one-on-one match therein here could make a great world title match. And you mentioned earlier Mike Bailey, picture perfect for the national title. You can make the same argument about Connor Gates or about Konosuke Takeshita. Some real unsung workers in this match as Takeshita becomes personally acquainted with the steel steps at ringside.
And we see Speedball trying to get those kicks in there. Not quite able to get what he wants, but does get Connor Gates rocked on those ropes. For him, strike it. Speedball looking to get crazy.
Up and over, vicious DDT. Could have just jammed up the neck, and a Bart's Comet from Speedball Mike Bailey as well.
Now just lighting up Connor Gates with strikes. Connor Gates backed against the apron. Neither man wanted anything to do with Takeshita right now as the Speedball kicks connect. Nothing Gates can do to block the final shot. Big spinning roundhouse knocks down Takeshita. Bailey is the only one left standing.
Those are some lethal legs on display by the Speedball. And now he has Takeshita in position with that big slam. But notices Gates back up, can't decide. A little bit of indecision, a little bit of hesitation by the normally so collected and poised Mike Bailey. Throws Gates to the corner.
So now Takeshita going to the outside. Bailey wanted to make sure maybe he doesn't get a chance to introduce any weapons into the match. And we saw him not capitalize on, pinning Takeshita. That was because Gates was kind of egging him on. Speedball maybe sort of getting a little bit of a beef here with Connor Gates. Well, right now, he's sort of drawing some blood from Connor Gates.
You saw him get that desperation disarm of Connor Gates, and now Speedball grabbing the chair. That's a dangerous sight right there. Nobody's been able to connect with that chair, though Gates has been able to connect quite a bit with those steel steps. Takeshita and Bailey both becoming personally acquainted with them. A suicide dive, just a little out of reach for Takeshita.
Yeah, and you saw that dive, he had to sort of aim diagonally, the post in his way. Would have come up big, but not quite able to.
And of course, next week, Tuesday Night Titans heads to New York City, the Hammerstein Ballroom. See the greatest wrestling action in the world. There is nothing that compares to a Tuesday Night Titans show, Alex.
Absolutely not. And here's the thing. We have seen such a shifting of the landscape. You've got to feel once we step foot in Hammerstein, it's going to be even more different. You do not want to miss out on a ticket. We know some shows already selling out fast. Get your tickets while you can, because right now, you might be missing out on a match like this, which has been brutal since the start. These three men just absolutely beating the brakes off each other.
Absolutely. The next 3 weeks of TNT will emanate from the Hammerstein Ballroom, and then TNT heads to NOLA, to New Orleans, Louisiana for the first time ever, and I already cannot wait to experience some of the cultural landscape that is. But this has been an incredible match, I've got to say. 2 men sent right into the turnbuckle post there.
Now, Gates, all 3 men, no one's staying down for long, even though all 3 men are hitting each other with everything they got. No one is able to make anyone else stay down as these men begin to fan out a little bit across the arena. And now, you see Takeshita getting passed between Bailey and Gates here. Kawada kicks. We'll be seeing him later on tonight.
Talk about monkey in the middle, Takeshita style. And now Mike Bailey just tossing Takeshita headfirst into the ringside announce table. Rack bomb from Gates. This match has been a considerable deal on the outside.
I mean, hey, you've got to feel that's where Connor Gates is going to feel the most comfortable, and it's where he has felt the most comfortable. He has dictated the pace since we've gotten outside of the ring, and now he's got him gripped up into a powerbomb. Speedball, however, fighting with everything he's got to avoid it, and now gets put in the way of fire, does Takeshita.
Connor Gates excommunicating himself for a runaround. Grabs the ladder. And now stalking Bailey. Bailey and Takeshita back in the ring where that definitely benefits them. I'll keep your eyes on Takeshita. BTP Blue Thunder on the ladder. That's a rough one.
And now Bailey might be out cold, but Takeshita looking to get some plunder, leaving Connor Gates to capitalize here on Bailey.
Mike Bailey could be out cold unconscious, and I mean, like, he's a hell of a fighter, but that's a different level of brutality. A Blue Thunder Bomb on the ladder. Gates throws Takeshita in the corner, and now just nailing him with these knees, just indiscriminately thrown to the midsection.
And we see Bailey able to get to his feet, brings Gates into the corner. Cheap shot from Gates out of the corner, however. Knee to the head of Speedball, drops him. And that head has been getting rocked all match long. Big kick, drops the Anarchist. Busaiku knee!
The Jumbo Saruta special, the Jumbo knee, and Bailey stays alive. Takeshita picked his moment expertly. That is the kind of crafting that you really only get from years of seasoning in a place as hot as DDT, and a huge rope spring forearm as well.
Finally gets to his feet. Takeshita trying to take down Gates. Bailey taking a little bit moment to compose himself. Maybe took too long. Tiger suplex dumps him on his head. And Bailey's right back up.
Bailey now throwing Takeshita into the corner. We've seen Bailey do a lot of big maneuvers here. We haven't seen much high flying from him. Looks like he could have been setting up for Ultimate Weapon, but Takeshita had that counter. Busaiku, the Jumbo, for the second time to Mike Bailey. And I don't care who you are done with the Busaiku knee.
Gotta give props to Speedball. He took one of those jumbo knees and kept going, but he just kept getting dumped on his head, kept taking hits to the head. Eventually, something had to give, and now we are down to two. Connor Gates, Konosuke Takeshita. One of these two men will be picking up the win here tonight, here in Niagara Falls, as now gets thrown into the corner, and just the rapid punches from Gates.
And I mean, that's the thing. Nothing's even on the line here. One of these three men, it's not like they're promised a title match. It's not like a title's on the line. But you have to think whoever wins here tonight could absolutely elevate themselves to that different plane that we've seen certain people get to.
Yeah, you've got to feel they're all making their case to be that next big contender for a championship, as now we see got him hooked up, inverted suplex from Takeshita.
And now Takeshita picking Gates up after eliminating Bailey, grabbing Connor, and not sure what to do with him. This hesitation may cost him. And just to get Gates in the corner, but the back elbow from Connor puts him down. Went for the twisted view, but got caught with a moonsault instead.
And that's just the explosiveness of Takeshita. Not many people would be able to seize that small of a window to hit a moonsault off of the missed twisted view. But Takeshita so quick, so explosive, and we have seen him. We saw him face similar people in Michael Young and Jet Mulligan. Takeshita might be making a case for king of the triple threat as he connects with that elbow drop right in the heart. Jumbo gets blocked by Gates. Neckbreaker sits him out.
They are throwing some bombs in this one. This has been an incredibly hard-hitting matchup. And Gates has been on multiple occasions trying to introduce weapons to this affair. And it has not played out well for him thus far, but he doesn't need many more weapons than those lethal legs and hands of his. Oh, good Lord. Lapel Davida, the call of the void!
Connor, count to 100. Connor Gates, no!
Connor Gates, along with everyone here in Niagara Falls, thought he had him. Kame Goye. I don't think he even can believe it. Looks like he was going for another one, but could not connect. Takeshita, huge toss, all of that on the ladder.
A cravat suplex drops Gates, and now lifts him right back up. Jumbo knee connects right to that busted up nose, and Konosuke Takeshita not able to get it.
Takeshita clearly getting frustrated as he just quickly drops that elbow. No care in the world. Drilling him down. And now Takeshita picks him back up, thinking Blue Thunder, nails it hard on Connor Gates. He could have went for the cover, but he opts instead for a second jumbo knee, and that has got to do it. Konosuke Takeshita, the king of the three-way dance.
And I mean, listen, we're getting close to the Halloween season, and Konosuke Takeshita, he was handing out jumbo knees like candy in that match. There might not be a better multi-man competitor than this man right now. That's twice he has won these big-time triple threats. Beating Jeff Mulligan and Michael Young in the first, beating Connor Gates and Mike Bailey in this one, and getting both eliminations in the process.
And now you want to talk about something that we have never seen before, an MMA rules match as Jason Paradise, completely out of his element, takes on Owen Nichols, the former MMA heavyweight, lightweight, and welterweight champion. You know, Jason Paradise, often considered an unsung hero of professional wrestling, this year celebrating 25 years in the business, started wrestling when he was 13, turned 38 this year, and this man, I mean, if you have seen anything that looks incredible or unbelievable in professional wrestling in the last 20-25 years, then I mean, you could trace it back to Jason Paradise. He can do it all, the best bout machine, certified Hall of Famer in any sport.
But that's the issue. This isn't his sport of choice, now is it? It's Owen Nichols' game. Jason Paradise has to play it. He has 25 years experience as a wrestler. What experience does he have inside MMA?
That's very true, and I mean, I talked earlier, Owen Nichols won championships in so many different weight classes in MMA. Jason Paradise, for 25 years, has never won a world title, not on a grand stage, not on a shindy. On no level has Jason Paradise ever been the top guy, despite what he's done for the sport of pro wrestling. Owen Nichols, in 3.5 years in MMA, was a multi-time world champion at so many different levels. The king of MMA is certainly maybe a distinction given to Owen by himself, but it'd be hard to contest it. I think that's safe to say.
He may have put the crown on his head himself, but the jewels that line it have been collected from victories. Those are not just, ornaments, those are medals from each of his victories, and they show that he's not just talk, he's not just bluster. You've got to feel Jason Paradise is walking into a really big mistake here tonight, as Owen Nichols is no joke inside that cage. Jason Paradise is going to have to rely on his instincts.
Absolutely, and I mean, this is MMA rules. The referee just there to call for a forfeit if a wrestler leaves the cage, a submission if they tap out, or a knockout for their own safety. There are no rounds. This is a one-round matchup. Mark Meltzer guarding the door. Let's see how this one starts.
Takes him to the ground, does Owen Nichols. And now immediately has that arm locked. Juji Gatami. He just needs to get that extension. He's got it. And there we see Jason Paradise able to work his way out of it. Owen Nichols needed to get that extension to get that, hyper extended joint, and wasn't quite able to do so without giving Jason Paradise a chance to escape.
Jason Paradise, you see him there wearing the scars of a long career, that knee brace on the left knee. It was very contentious if he'd even be allowed to wear it, but after so many surgeries on that left knee in a 25-year career, it's safe to say he could hardly even walk without it. Playing a little dirty there, but this is basically a blood sport. There is no rule besides win.
Absolutely. And now we see that knee getting targeted. Jesus, that twisting neck crank, and now the deadlift. Owen Nichols taking a moment to show off here his wrestling ability, his mat game, if you will.
And you saw when Owen kicked the back of the leg of Jason Paradise, he crumpled. He could not stand. That left knee, such a painful area for Jason Paradise, and it gave Owen Nichols the chance to take advantage. Now just indiscriminately delivering those stomps. And Owen Nichols trying to get into it. Big kick from Paradise and a huge rope spring body press attack there.
I think almost a headbutt, something you also wouldn't see in normal MMA. And you gotta feel maybe that's the difference between these two men. Jason Paradise just going for what works, whereas Owen Nichols going for what he knows, and that is the standard MMA style, targeting that arm, looking to get it softened up for that Juji Gatami once more.
And what I like about Owen Nichols, you know, even when he sees Jason Paradise, a guy with such an obvious target, he doesn't change his game. Owen Nichols made his name, his bread and butter with two things, the guillotine and the Jujikatami. He's not going to go to try and target the leg just because Jason Paradise has a target on it, because he knows what works. He knows what he's best at, and that's something that you only get from world-class training as an MMA fighter.
Absolutely. You can't have your eyes be bigger than your mouth in something like this. He knows exactly what he can bite off in a situation like this, but right now he might be biting off more than he can chew as he gets dropped by Paradise.
And that was a fantastic drop there by Jason Paradise, and now looking for the Paradise driver on Owen Nichols. Instinctively went for the cover. That right there, 25 years of conditioning, and now opting for a Dragon Sleeper, maybe something learned by Alex Clark, a longtime rival of Owen Nichols.
Yeah, and now we see him got it locked in. And Owen Nichols able to just stay calm, find his bearings, and escape it with those knee strikes. Guillotine choke! Guillotine choke is locked in, and now is big trouble for Jason Paradise.
I thought he was tapping there, but no, just a couple of shots. You saw how quickly Owen Nichols, he took advantage of the fact that Jason Paradise very clearly looked uncomfortable holding that Dragon Sleeper and had no experience doing it. Snatched him in the guillotine. Credit to Jason for being able to survive. I've seen world-class MMA fighters fall to less. And
but
now
just
staying
how
on him.
Explosive it was, him being able to lock that in. Jason Paradise in trouble, and you see him turning on the gas because knows he needs to escape this as soon as possible. There's no bounce here. You just got to knock the guy out.
Absolutely big standing tornado DDT there by Jason Paradise. He has been staying on him. That wrestling acumen has been playing a lot. And look at that fantastic evasion. But Owen Nichols, so incredibly fast, again went for that diving body press, but nobody home. Jason back to his feet, explosive as ever, gets back into it. Paradise could be looking for that Paradise driver one more time. I mean, that could knock a man out. That could rule a knockout from Mark Meltzer.
I mean, hey, if he gets dropped on his head hard enough, it could just do it. But no, the impact to the back of the head, not enough, and he's right back up.
And you saw instinctively again, he went for the pinfall, did Jason Paradise. Instinct is a hard thing to break.
Jujikatami locked in once more. He needs to get that hyperextension. And again, just not able to get it in time.
Jason Paradise once again able to block it. Owen Nichols definitely hasn't been going in for the kill, or maybe Jason's ground game is a little better than we gave him credit for. Off the ropes, went for it, but Owen made him pay. Huge kick. His leg may have given out on him. Paradise put on the top rope now.
Oh, pushes him off, does Paradise, getting down to the mat. Now, Snapmasm looking to use the ring to his advantage once more. Big boot.
And Owen takes down Paradise once again. And now look at this, just ground and pound. That right there is some vintage Owen Nichols, and the signature slap, something that got him suspended from MMA for many, many times. And now the guillotine locked in again, the hyperextension, wrenching back, and Jason submits.
You gotta give credit to Jason Paradise for stepping in to something out of his element and putting up that much of a fight. But at the end of the day, this is Owen Nichols' game. He's the king of MMA. He wasn't going to get beaten at his own game by Jason Paradise.
That was an incredible display by the self-proclaimed king of MMA, and I look forward to seeing what he does next. And Alex, as we get into our next matchup, we have got an anything goes match, unsanctioned, between Jet Thorn and BHJ. There have been a lot of bad blood brewing between these two ever since the first episode of the new era of TNT.
Yes, these two have been at each other's throats quite literally. And this is going to be one to watch. And I know BHJ, very accomplished man, but you've got to worry that he's going up against one of the most dangerous competitors in the world in Jet Thorn, in a match where Jet Thorne is able to do whatever he wants.
Absolutely true. BHJ, a former two-time Intercontinental Champion and an unsanctioned champion, but BHJ has never been able to get to that world title level. Jet Thorne pissed off BHJ in the dying days of the old TNT because within 1 month he came in, beat some of the biggest names in TNT, won the world title, and completely surpassed BHJ, who considered it his right to challenge for the world title.
Yeah, you can definitely see why BHJ would be upset. He's sort of been the journeyman. He's worked his way to the top, whereas Jet Thorne, as dominant as he is, used that dominance to skip to the front of the line.
Absolutely true. Jet Thorne, he's only lost 5 singles matches in the last year since really breaking out in the American wrestling scene. 1 was losing a world championship. 1 was putting over someone who was the future of the business, who went on to win a world championship. 1 was in a brutal death match. And then another one against someone who he had so many wars with. So Jet Thorne is certainly no stranger to having long, unbroken winning streaks, but he took such a personal attack at BHJ, having to resort to a pin using the ropes to beat him. He said he didn't mind being beaten by the better man. He can admit that as a man who considers himself a prize fighter, but for BHJ to walk around and act like he is this hard man, this fighter, and to resort to that strategy, whether it's legal or not, infuriated Jet Thorne, and I can't say I blame him.
Absolutely not. These are 2 men with a point to prove. And we're going to see which one wins out here tonight. But the thing about Jet Thorne, you mentioned that one of the only times he lost was in a deathmatch scenario. You also mentioned the fact that it was BHJ bending the rules to his favor that won him the match against Jet Thorne, that got him that pinfall victory. Jet Thorne, you've got to wonder, is he going to let his pride get in the way of his anger? Is BHJ going to be able to use this stipulation better than Jet Thorne could? Because there's no title on the line. There's no prize. There's no prestige. There is only violence on tap for these 2 men.
Absolutely true, Alex. And you have to think back to just last week. BHJ was forced to sort of run the gauntlet facing Jet Thorne's hired goons, the Murder City Machine Guns, in a handicap match before facing in a 6-man tag. And Jet Thorne let it slip. He said, I asked every single man in the locker room, do you want to team up with BHJ? I don't know how true that is, but if Jet Thorne is to be believed, nobody stepped up to team with the loner that is BHJ, the man who's a little bit hard to get along with.
Regardless, they don't have to worry about Murder City Machine Guns showing up or anything like that. It's just these 2 men here, and already Jet Thorne went for the half and half, not able to get it.
Looked for thorn in your eye, I think, his signature maneuver, but BHJ countered it in a huge jackknife right on the neck.
We saw both these men, big guys. We saw BHJ having to take a moment to just adjust himself, make sure he doesn't just fall backwards.
Rear naked choke applied! Rear naked choke locked in! This could be it! This is an equalizer!
We might be seeing a quick one! No, Jet Thorne able to muscle his way out.
That is some killer instinct on display by Jet, and a huge lariat clattering BHJ off. These guys are throwing bombs. No light moves here. No feeling out process. Just absolute decimation.
Yeah, these 2, like you said, they fought before. They know what each other are like. They know how tough both these men are. And they know that they're going to have to hit as much offense as possible, be as violent as possible. Jet Thorne realizes that as he grabs the bat from under the ring.
BHJ just stomps him right into the mat. I mean, Jet Thorne, for all his faults, for how he's not a very good guy, is definitely no stranger to fighting hard, but BHJ gets high off the thrill of the kill and nearly got the win.
You'd be shocked to see a match like this between 2 players this caliber and this quickly. But when you look at how high impact it has been since the beginning, I don't know, I doubt this is one that's going to go to a 60-minute draw.
Absolutely right. And, I mentioned earlier Jet Thorne, a guy who fought for his life in his teens and his 20s in the streets, only discovered wrestling at such a late age, became a pro at 29 after winning the Golden Gloves. So Jet Thorne definitely a man who's more used to fighting than wrestling, but see, he picked up some new things with that cattle mutilation applied to BHJ. Unnecessary or unusual technique there by from Jet Thorn to BHJ, and a kick gets out of it.
Well, I think I mentioned earlier how these two, they know each other so well. Gotta feel like they're trying to just throw each other off. We see Jet Thorn going for some more technical offense than we're used to, trying to get BHJ off the scent.
Absolutely right. And I mean, for having only one match against each other, it shows what world-class competitors these guys are, that they already know each other's game plans. Black hole breaker from Jet Thorn. And defiant as ever, grabs the baseball bat.
And still not gotten a chance to use it both times. BHJ was able to roll out of the way and get Jet Thorn down. And now we see the Skull Uraken connect to Jet Thorn.
That
but no,
Iron
the Iron
Skull
Skull
ring.
Uraken not able to do it.
That Iron Skull ring on the hand of BHJ. Almost more of an insult than adding extra damage. BHJ now looking to grab his own implement, a steel folding chair. Ah! That was a disgusting sound, Alex. Oh my lord.
Absolutely, a sound I'm sure the people in the cheap seats could hear, as now BHJ has taken control of this match by force. But Jet Thorn smashes that chair into the face of BHJ, goes behind, not able to get it.
All I'm saying is that a man less tough than Jet Thorn would probably be down and out right now, and I don't know if Jet should be prioritizing his own safety, but my God, that was hard to hear. That was two stiff shots to the dome piece, and now Jet grabbing that baseball bat and just clatters BHJ with that. Oh my God.
A lariat! Once more connecting, and we see the bat shot into the lariat might be enough to keep BHJ down for the 3. No!
This one has been as brutal as advertised, Alex. These two hate each other. There's a real sense that they want each other to never wrestle again.
Now we see the chop to chest. We saw that spinning side slam, shades of fellow M&A Crown Jewel Fleur Elise. And I've got to feel Jet Thorn feels himself gaining control of this match, wants to continue to wear down on the punishment, continue to wail on BHJ.
And now Jet just laying in the shots, and we've got blood. BHJ is seeing red as Jet picks him up on the shoulders, and BHJ just hammering in those elbows.
Desperation elbow shots, as now looking for it. Thrill of the kill, connects, hooks both legs deep. 2. No.
That is the move that BHJ has used to seal so many of his victories, and now he grabs the chair that Jet used earlier and BHJ clattered Jet with earlier. Now maybe trying to get some blood out of Jet Thorn.
Now, or maybe looking for a submission, just wrenching back
he's
that
just
two-handed crossface.
He's clawing at the eyes. The ref trying to see if Jet wants to submit. He may not be able to see after this. He's got the claws right in the eyes of Jet Thorn, but Jet manages to buck him off. Jet has been through a lot. He's one of the toughest men I know. So, I mean, it's going to take a lot to get him to submit. I've never seen Jet Thorn go down without a fight, putting BHJ on the top rope. Now, he could be looking for the most deadly move in his arsenal, that DDT off the top, which injured Alex Clark, but BHJ had the counter.
Now wait for the Iron Skull Uraken, not able to get it, gets caught, power bomb out of the gut wrench.
BHJ, to his credit, knew that DDT off the top rope has injured so many of Jet Thorn's opponents. Like I said, injured Alex Clark, gave Jacob Clark a concussion. It is one of the most brutal moves I've ever seen in professional wrestling. And credit to BHJ for knowing the counter. BHJ has not been able to connect with that Iron Skull Uraken in some time, though, as BHJ is put down, and a stomp to the chest.
I think Jet Thorn, as tough as he is, knows if that connects, it might very well be it. He's doing everything in his power to make sure that doesn't happen. But right now, he's getting lifted up into the slam. That suplex side slam for the cover. And wait a second. Once again, the feet on the ropes. BHJ.
history maker, the first man to ever beat Jet Thorne for a second time. And I mean, you gotta stick with what works, but I think that proves that this is far, far from over.
I said at the beginning of the match, BHJ, was able to use every dirty trick in his playbook. He brought in the weapons, he used the ropes when he needed to, and he came out with the win.
You want to talk about dirty tricks? There is over 100 years of in-ring experience in the match. Next up, a trios contest in our penultimate match of the evening. Alex, tell me about Michael Young. I know you know this guy really well.
Yes, the Aussie Assassin, a world warrior in Japan, Australia, America, England. This man has fought everywhere. He has won titles pretty damn well everywhere. And now we've seen him lately trying to train up the next generation with that 666 dojo. And if you look at who he's trained in the past, it is a who's who of some of the best wrestlers going. Jamie Clark, former grand champion. You see Colin Fritz over there in 1WW. You see the talent that Michael Young has been able to bestow upon others, where even now, this late into his career, he's still this good.
Absolutely incredible. But then, you know, everyone has to get inspired somewhere. Michael Young very famously takes a lot of inspiration from Stan the Lariat Hansen. And I mean, I gotta say, you don't get the nickname the Lariat without throwing some damn good lariats.
Listen, I'm just saying, if you're good enough at a move that they make that move your nickname, it shows you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Stan Hansen is big, pissed off, got a wife to feed at home and a bunch of kids. He is going to knock someone's head off if he needs to.
Stan Hansen is a guy I would not want to be anywhere in the ring with, and he's going to be teaming with some incredible cowboys. But Alex, I think it's about time for Niagara Falls to become cowboy country.
Yeah, Hangman Adam Page. Definitely the youngest of the three cowboys here, but that does not make him any less brutal, any less dangerous in the ring.
Absolutely ready to stir some cowboy shit with some legendary Masters of the Lariat. Of course, back in WNW, Adam Page and Michael Young were a short-lived tag team and contended for tag team championships as cowboy shit. So they are definitely no strangers to tag team action. So, you know, Adam Page got to avoid being starstruck, being in the ring with someone like Stan Hansen.
Absolutely. None of these men can afford to, get caught up in the lights. But you've got to feel that this one, we're going to be seeing a lot of big moves. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of lariats from just these four men alone.
Absolutely. Kenta Kobashi, the man, the myth, the legend. I mean, you want to talk about tough, you want to talk about fortitude. This man had emergency surgery on both of his arms that was projected to take him out of the ring for the rest of his days, and he would have been lucky to survive. This man was wrestling 8 months later. He's unkillable, Kenta Kobashi.
Absolutely. He is... If you can't say it about a lot of people, but he is very much one of the gods of professional wrestling. And he is someone who, well, if you aren't careful, he'll send you right to heaven.
Absolutely right. And then you want to talk about a man who is one of the gods. You know, it often is talked about the 4 pillars of AJPW. One pillar always seemed to be a little taller than the rest, and that is the one bestowed to the Emerald Tiger.
Yes, Emerald Tiger making his way down to the ring. And we see Kobashi, we see Emerald Tiger, and we're going to be seeing their partners soon, a sort of a reunion of Super Generation Army from All Japan Pro Wrestling. And you've got to feel, you talk about TNT bringing new and exciting things. Super Generation Army reforming for the first time in decades.
And for the first time on American soil as well.
Absolutely. Emerald Tiger, we've seen him in with the Team Kings Road with Dan Darnester. They're a great team, but you've got to feel for Tiger, there's a certain level of nostalgia that he's got to be feeling right now, getting to kick it with his old All Japan buds.
And I mean, you just see right there, that's a hell of a shot by cameraman number 11 there. 4 men, now 5, just standing on the outside right next to each other. There is nothing but respect between all 6 of these men. This may be a match, and they may be getting ready to go out there and beat the absolute hell out of each other, but there's no disrespect. There's no hatred there. These are 6 men, generational talents from 4 different generations who know exactly what this business is all about. It's built on respect, and it will be continued here, even though for those who are unfamiliar with this style, you may think they hate each other with how hard they're about to start hitting.
Yeah, this is going to be one not for the faint of heart. If you get squeamish by hard hits, oh, maybe you want to close your eyes.
Toshiaki Kawada, the only man so far who wrestled in the old days of TNT and nearly defeated Chet Thorne for the TNT Championship. Now, for those unfamiliar with traditional AJPW tag team rules, the rules state that it is pinfall, submission, or referee removal. And you see Kenta Kobashi in 10 seconds delivering some Urakans and some kicks. That is vintage Kobashi.
Yeah, and you've got to feel Michael Young. You know, he's someone who always says he wants these types of matches. Well, now you're getting one, and I don't think he's feeling too happy about it right now.
That is a brutal opening 30 seconds, but Michael Young gonna fire in with a vicious forearm smash, and looks like he's gonna put him down with the first of what I presume to be many power bombs.
Yes, and we're still waiting to see the first lariat in this match, but trust me, I don't think it's going to take all that long for someone to hit one. As now Michael Young bringing in Stan Hansen. Stan Hansen going up top, brainbuster from Young. Huge splash from Hansen.
Variation of the power and glory from Hansen and Young, and Stan Hansen now. Larry, no! Countered!
Kobashi was ready for the lariat, and now in comes Emerald Tiger.
Emerald Tiger and Hansen, a very classic rivalry over the Triple Crown Championship in the early 90s. Stan Hansen not even taken down by that vicious back kick.
I gotta feel the kicks obviously dangerous from Tiger, but once he starts landing those emerald elbows, it is going to be bad news for whoever's in there. And now we see Misawa and Kawada. Big tag maneuver.
A wasteland into an assisted senton. That right there, you know, it's often said that wrestling is catching up to what was done by... Oh, Stretch Plum locked in! Stretch Plum on Hansen, and Young in for the break.
Young able to get in there for the break before he was able to kind of actually get the stretch on it. He was still trying to hook it in properly. Young able to make sure that didn't happen.
I mean, like you just see, this match has been going on for 2 minutes. We've already seen some incredible bombs, some great tag team working, and Emerald Tiger getting back in against Stan Hansen. We've yet to see Hangman Adam Page get in, and could that be maybe some of the more experienced members of his team maybe not wanting him to burn out what is obviously going to be the best gas tank in the match?
Yeah, he is the youngest competitor in this match by a country mile, and right now he just got dumped on his head by Tiger, got a little greedy, and now Tiger trying to save his teammate in Kobashi, who isn't even the legal man.
That is a very interesting strategy there by the Emerald Tiger, and now those elbows come into play. Stan Hansen, you see Michael wants the tag, but Stan Hansen seems like he wants to get up on his own. That's a man's man right there.
Oh, right now the man's catches the kick to the gut, but gets caught with the spinning wheel kick. He needs to get something going because those elbows have lit him up.
And now Emerald Tiger taking on Michael Young. Still to come up next, the World Championship match. Aiden Flynn and Alex Clark will look to settle it. Michael landing hard there. Good Lord.
And main event still to come. The big match for Make and Break we've been talking about all night, but right now we've also been talking about the lariat. Wait a second, no. Instead, got him up. Crucifix powerbomb position, no. Emerald Tiger able to escape.
Big headbutt there by Hansen, staggers him, and another swinging neck breaker. Hansen so deliberate in everything that he does. No wasted movement, nothing flashy. You're never going to see Stan Hansen go for much other than just brutality. We've yet to see an elimination in this match, Alex. Remember, pinfall, submission, or referee removal. If the referee decides that you've suffered too much damage, he reserves the right to remove you from the contest, as he just did with Emerald Tiger.
Yeah, Emerald Tiger fell down hard on the back of his head on that powerbomb. Lariat to the back of the head of Kawada. That might just be too straight. No.
That is brutal on behalf of Stan Hansen. And here it is, time for some cowboy shit. Adam Page in the ring.
And this is smart. You bring in maybe the least experience, but the biggest gas tank once you're already at the advantage. You let Hangman come in to wear the other two down while he's not in a place where you're at a disadvantage or you're at risk of getting one.
I mean, you say least experienced. Hangman Adam Page is a 15-year veteran, and he's still the least experienced. That's incredible.
That is. It just goes to show the caliber of performers we have here on TNT and we have here in this match. As Kawada trying to get something together for his team. Stretch Plum locked in. Hangman Page, though, right there, able to break it up.
Both times, Kawada unable to fully connect with the Stretch Plum. He nails all of that powerbomb, though. Good God almighty.
Yeah, jeez. And you see Michael Young still just laid out. Kawada wants to smoke with everybody. He's just taking everyone on this team. Going into the cover on Michael Young. Is that going to be enough? No, Stan Hansen's there to break it up.
I'm going to say right now, Michael Young was dead to rights. If Stan Hansen hadn't been there for the break, Michael's done.
Yeah, he looked like he was out cold.
And Mark Meltzer's got to get some control in here. All 5 men were in the ring. Michael Young, German, the prelude to the pain. Meika and Kawada's done. A man against the world, Kenta Kobashi.
Burning Lariat takes down Michael Young. Only a 2.
A man without a country, a man without any friends. Huge short arm lariat there by Young. Now 585 countered.
Immediately, an airplane spin TKO from Kenta Kobashi.
And both members, Hansen and Page, want that tag so badly. Page is going to be the man to get it. Oh my!
Jesus, Lariat turning him inside out for the clean sweep. 2. No.
Kenta Kobashi has no reprieve, no one to run to. Adam Page seems like he's getting a little overzealous, looking for this moonsault, and he misses because he turned himself around. That right there is that lack of experience.
Absolutely, and now Hangman got Kenta Kobashi gripped up by the back of the neck. He needs to be careful here, but he just busted open Kobashi, and this is looking good for the Hangman, but he can't give Kobashi a second to breathe. One burning lariat could be enough to turn the lights out.
And Adam Page staying all over Kenta Kobashi here. He may want to bring in a friend, a tag team partner, throwing in. Hansen heading in. Should we be looking to see some more tag team offense here off the ropes? Big double shoulder tackle.
And now we see Kobashi just trying to take out as many men as he can. It's him versus the world.
Swinging wildly with no reprieve. Shoulder bump there. But Kobashi throwing Hansen up and over, and he lands hard. You see Hansen falling very hard. Kenta Kobashi not even heading after him. He's trying to get some breath in his lungs. Suicide!
Jesus!
Kenta Kobashi took him to hell. Oh my!
He landed all of that. Every bit of weight that Kenta Kobashi had landing on Hansen. And Kobashi's fired up. He's tearing up the ringside area.
Hey man, those are expensive. Be careful what you do, but holy hell! Into the steps. Kenta Kobashi realizes the circumstances of his situation, and he is fuming.
Absolutely. Hey, better to burn out than to fade away. The master of the burning lariat knows that better than anyone. Hansen with the disrespect, however.
And that's what Kenta Kobashi thinks of your disrespect. Butterfly suplex into the steps. Hansen may never walk again. My God.
As now Kobashi gets into the ring to break the count.
Just seeing what Hansen's all about. Got to his level. Hansen with the knee. This has been brutal, Alex.
Absolutely. And you see Hansen, he's calling for the end. Kobashi's going up to his feet. Lariat doesn't connect flush, but connects enough.
More of a running haymaker into the... God.
Kobashi stays alive.
In any other time, on any other man, in any other place, Kenta Kobashi is done. But he stays alive, a man without reprieve, a man without rest, a man without a country. And Michael Young with the big boy senton to Kenta Kobashi.
And now Michael Young putting the strength on display. The military press connects.
You have to know that at any point in time, referee Mark Meltzer could say, hey, Kobashi suffered enough that would be a horrid way for this match to end for these fans. Hangman could be looking for the rite of passage. No way. Nails it!
Into the cover. Deep hooks. Kobashi stays alive.
What is this man made of? We talked earlier about how he may be the most resilient man to ever step through the AJPW doors, but he is living up to that reputation here. Holy God.
Now got him hooked. Kobashi trying to lift Hangman. Huge vertical suplex.
You saw he took a while to get back up. Running Lariat takes Hanger over the top. Kobashi on fire. The men and women and everyone here in Niagara Falls on his side. German on the floor.
And you've got to feel the ropes being there. Hangman being that close to the ropes and getting sent outside might have saved him. That lariat could have very well spelled the pinfall.
Or the referee removal. I mean, like, this has been brutal. For a matchup that many people may have written off as just a nostalgia bait matchup, this has been straight out of 1995 Kings Road. This would not look out of place at AJPW.
Absolutely not. As now these two men continue to battle, just slaps him to the ground, does Kenta Kobashi. And now Hangman trying to find a way to get some distance here, tosses Kobashi across, and gets back into the ring.
Kobashi desperately got to get back in there. At the count of 9, he does. Kenta went for the forearm, but Hangman had it better with that vicious. But look at this, schoolboy into just a drop. I don't even know how to classify that, Alex. That was incredible.
Schoolboy suplexes now. In comes Hansen to possibly close the job. Lariat dodged by Kenta. Lifted him up.
Lariat. Burning Lariat.
Into the cover on Hansen. But Young is there to break it up.
He's dishing him out to everybody. A burning Lariat to Michael Young. Grabbing Michael now with a neck breaker. Takes him down. And now just trying to yank the lariating arm of Stan Hansen out of socket. Kenta Kobashi has been fighting like his life is on the line.
Now, got him behind, flips him over. Power slam to Hansen.
Good God, this has just been tough to watch, Alex. Now has him to Hansen. That's got to seal it right. 2, 3. Hansen's out of there, but he's got to do that 2 more times.
Hangman just a tad too slow. Not able to break it up in time, and now he's the one in trouble. Forearm shiver. And Kenta Kobashi's got almost a second wind here.
I could watch these 6 men do battle all day. This has been incredible, but Hangman takes him down. Looked like he went for the rite of passage one more time. Kobashi grabs him and just smacks him down. And now targeting the buckshot arm of Hangman Page.
As now Kobashi. Michael Young's down on the outside still. He's got a great chance here to get a pinfall on Hangman.
And I mean, you got to keep an eye on the clock, Alex. Less than 6.5 to go. This could very well go Broadway, and I wouldn't complain at all. I mean, these guys have been putting it in. Burning lariat!
Into the cover, hooks that outside leg. Michael Young's there to break it up, however.
There to break it up. Kenta Kobashi takes down Young again with another burning lariat. Good God almighty. Kobashi going up. Is he going to try and take down both men? Oh my God, what is going on? Kenta!
Caught! Gets caught with the uppercut from Young, and that is going to seal it.
Oh my God! What a match! You
What a
hear the
match.
crowd chanting 5 more minutes, and I can't say I blame them.
I mean, all the credit in the world to Kenta Kobashi. He fought with a lot of heart, but at the end of the day, the numbers game caught up to him. Too many men to deal with. The Cowboys get to ride into the sunset this time.
But now it's time to find out who will leave with the World's Championship. Alex Clark defends against Aiden Flynn. And let's go over the tail of the tape, Alex. Aiden has 6 inches, about 30 pounds. Both men final world champions of previous brands. Very evenly matched up overall.
Absolutely. But if you remember the stipulation after this match, the Poetry of Silence not allowed for Alex Clark here tonight. Meaning, Aiden Flynn could have the advantage. He has his full repertoire at his disposal. Alex Clark, he's going to have to think on his feet.
Absolutely. And of course, the winner of this match here, our main event in Niagara Falls, will face Seth Dallas in 6 weeks' time at Music City Mayhem. And there he is, the self-proclaimed global icon. And for maybe the first night in his entire life, he's being cheered by the fans. The hometown hero, Flynn from nearby Quebec.
Aiden Flynn walking down to the ring with a purpose. He has a chance to bring home gold for M&A. M&A currently hold the national championship with Keith Lee. They currently, pseudo hold the grand title. They at least took it off of someone they didn't want to have it. And now, Aiden Flynn has a chance to make it a Grand Slam night for M&A.
Aiden Flynn, we mentioned earlier, the final PGW World's Champion. He went away from the original TNT, bettered himself, became a world-class competitor that I think a lot of us knew he could be. And I mean, this definitely promises to be a fantastic match, Alex. But you want to talk about a great match featuring Alex Clark, the inaugural world champion here in TNT, has not played any secrets of how he feels about working for Dean Morgan. Says that it disgusts him, that it makes him so vehemently angry, but he is not going to allow Dean Morgan to keep him from his dream.
And we saw earlier tonight Jamie Clark, some would say, get screwed out of the Grand Championship. Tonight there's no one in Aiden Flynn's corner. This is just Alex Clark, Aiden Flynn for that title. Alex Clark holding all and any form of anti-M&A sentiment on his shoulders here tonight against Aiden Flynn here in our main event of Niagara Falls.
See what he thinks of the title, just tossing it to the ground.
And here's the thing, I know Alex Clark has respect for the TNT brand. but you see that big M&A on the front of the belt. That is something that Alex Clark has no respect for.
Absolutely. He considers it an act of defiance to even have that championship. We're going to throw down. That's what it's all about right there. As much as the Grand Championship, the new National Championship, the Tag Team Championships mean, at the end of the day, there's one man who gets paid the most money. There's one man on all the posters, on all the promotion. There's one man who sits atop, and it is the world's champion. Aiden Flynn comes here trying to win that championship. Alex Clark wants to leave Niagara Falls with that belt still over his shoulder.
You know, we're talking about it all night. We've been talking about how this is a new era, a new age for TNT and for just wrestling. Alex Clark, he wants, as much as he might not like what that title represents from a brand perspective, he has to understand it does represent one of the leading forces of professional wrestling, if not the leading force of professional wrestling. And to get to be at the forefront, to get to be the flag bearer for the future, that is what this is all about here tonight.
Absolutely right. And you know, Seth Dallas in the back looking out to try and see who he is going to be facing in 6 weeks' time in Music City Mayhem. And look at Flynn just rocking in the early portion of this opening measure.
But Alex Clark, not one to be denied. Listen, he's not the biggest guy, but you can't deny the toughness of Alex Clark. He has taken a beating time and time again, and he seems to always find a way to get himself up.
And I mean, we mentioned earlier, Aiden Flynn with a 6-inch size advantage, just over 30 pounds weight advantage. Look at that powerbomb into this huge trigger knee there.
It's now Alex Clark firing shots on Aiden Flynn. You've got to wonder, you know, given the fact that, like you said, Aiden Flynn was getting a pretty positive reaction, Alex Clark is used to being that guy, the guy that gets the positive reaction from the crowd. You've got to wonder, you know, is that going to be playing in the head a little bit of Alex Clark, or does he just drown it out?
Absolutely right, Alex. And one thing that I think can't bear overlooking is you look on the right leg of Aiden Flynn, that knee brace. It's been very contested whether or not he even actually needs it, given how much he uses it to deal extra damage to his opponents. Is that a target for Alex, or is that an avoid situation as Aiden goes for the moonsault, but Alex moves out of the way?
I mean, it very well could be something you target. He's not allowed to win with the poetry of silence, remember? So, he's got to switch up the game plan. Instead of looking for that, instead of fishing for that Dragon Sleeper, maybe he goes for the knee instead.
And Aiden Flynn now just with a huge shot. And that right there is some disrespect for the uninitiated or the uneducated. The drop kick considered by many to be a Clark family staple. And Aiden knows he can't win out here. He's just doing some damage. You see him jaw-jacking with some fans who seem to be on the pro-Alex side of the arena.
Yes, and now suplex to Alex Clark. Aiden Flynn taking the advantage on the outside of the ring. Aiden Flynn, a bit of a bigger guy, like we mentioned earlier in the tail of the tape, using the outside and his size to an advantage.
And just welcoming Alex back in. Alex gonna make him pay, has him up. Could be looking to take him to his final destination.
Final destination connects. Alex not going for the cover.
Alex wants a weapon. It's all legal in Canada, but a ladder is an interesting choice by the world's champion.
As now we see him bringing it up, but gets kicked out of his hands immediately. Knee strike levels Clark.
And Alex Clark could have had Aiden Flynn done right there. Huge shotgun drop kick, but he wants to deal some damage. I mean, Alex can say a lot of things about Aiden, but Aiden is not easy to put down. So for Alex to not opt to go for the pin right away is certainly smart on his behalf, you have to think.
Absolutely. As now we see Alex Clark got him hooked up here. What in the hell is this? Power bomb to Aiden Flynn. And only able to get a 1 count.
The variation on an orange crush. You see the ref going in for the cover, but Alex just going in for the shots to the face. And now Aiden,
the referee doing his due diligence.
Aiden just getting destroyed by Alex Clark. Here, look at that. Use it. You wouldn't expect a guy with the size advantage to go low like that. but that's what makes Aiden Flynn so difficult. Drop kicks the ladder into the face.
And now Alex Clark, huge lariat to Aiden Flynn. I think Alex Clark might be looking to fly.
Huge Fosbury flop there by Alex Clark. Levels Aiden Flynn, and that was incredible. Alex Clark, a man possessed, pulling out maneuvers we haven't seen him bust out ever.
We're hearing the "This is awesome" chant from the Niagara Falls crowd. I've got to agree. This match has been fantastic since the opening bell. And now Alex Clark in control of Aiden Flynn. But we see swings wildly. Neither connects with the fan. That would probably have been a lawsuit.
And the TNT faithful love getting involved in the action here. The best fan base in the world, the truest wrestling fans in the world always come out to TNT. You know, I oftentimes have been known to say thank you, Dean Morgan, but this is truly a night where we have to say thank you to the fans because they have come out in their droves to watch the best damn wrestling in the world.
Absolutely. It's now crucifix pin there. No, not able to get a proper hold of it is Clark. It's now elbow drop to the back of the head. Might be trying to turn the lights out.
That's a rough landing on the back of the neck for Aiden Flynn. Aiden now dragon screws Alex and is getting back into it. Has him hooked. Oh, could be looking for drop dead. Has him.
Drop dead connects. And we might just have crowned a new champion. No.
Not quite able to do it. You know Seth Dallas is in the back taking notes, seeing what Alex did to try and prepare for surviving that drop dead in the event that Aiden Flynn wins here tonight.
It's now lifting him up, looking for a brain buster. Alex Clark able to kick his feet, go around, German suplex.
A less than textbook German suplex, but with the size disparity, you can't exactly say it's surprising. Alex grabs him. What is this? Kick in the face, and Flynn seeing red.
The referee in perfect position to make a cover, but Alex Clark not going for a cover. Instead, trying to take out both knees of Aiden Flynn.
Very smart, as now Alex pushed back by Aiden. Kick from Flynn. Has him in the perfect position. Could be looking check your neck, but Alex had the counter perfectly scouted.
Gotta feel check your neck on the ladder would have been enough to end it. Northern Lights, the head clipping the side. That might be it, too. No.
Not quite able to get it done. Alex has to be looking for Last Crusader. If he locks in the Poetry of Silence, Flynn wins the title automatically. From Alex Clark.
Connects, but not enough.
Not able to get it done. That was incredible elevation on the neck of Aiden Flynn. You see him bloody and battered and brutalized. Aiden still fighting, though, the heart of a warrior, which you wouldn't expect from a man of his vintage. But Aiden, as detestable as he is, as despicable as he is, certainly not one to go down without a hell of a fight. Big German there takes Alex Clark down.
And that's the thing. Say what you will about M&A. They've stayed out of this main event. They have not run any interference to try and give Aiden Flynn the win. He is out here. He is doing it on his own. And you have to respect that. But Alex Clark is giving as good as he gets. Super kick, though. Connects and a drop kick. Got him hung up on the ropes.
And there's that knee brace. Granted, for the first time we've seen it come into play, but you know that damage done badly. And could Flynn be looking for shooting Stardust here?
God, perch on the top rope. Frog splash instead. Lands hard on the sternum of Alex Clark.
That was hard to watch, Alex. And there's a moonsault and a miss. He went too high, too flourishy, and couldn't connect. Alex going to make him pay. Big body slam. And a shining elbow as well.
And now Alex Clark picking up Aiden Flynn. He can feel that we're getting towards the bottom of the ninth. He knows he needs to put it away. He needs one final move, final destination. No! Punches from Aiden Flynn, able to escape it.
Flynn countered. Alex countered. Flynn counters back and forth. Hell for leather. The doctor may be in, because it could be time to check. Hard does not opt for the pin immediately. Goes for a more traditional lateral.
Oh, no, not it. And you saw just the exhaustion, not able to get that immediate cover, had to switch to a lateral press. But now, Aiden Flynn, not wasting any more time, has him lifted up. Power slam, no! DDT drops him on his head!
And Alex just desperately going for a pin off of anything. The DDT at one point in time, one of the most devastating maneuvers in the history of pro wrestling, but not able to get the win there. Aiden grabbed by Alex, but the kick to the back of the leg could be enough to set him up. Back and forth, these two are just going at one another. Look at this. Package power bomb.
Oh my, almost his own variation of the Tiger Driver from Alex Clark. And you've got to feel this deep in the 9th inning, this deep in the 4th quarter, whatever end of game thing you want to use, next big shot, the next home run is gonna seal it. Will it be Alex Clark or will it be Aiden Flynn that connects with that shot? As Alex Clark now, huge lung blower, takes down Flynn.
Aiden is out. I don't think he can do anything to get into this. That huge forearm to the face. Maybe a midnight for Zach Anderson. Sake. Oh, Aiden grabbed him out of nowhere.
Tiger Driver!
That's
Into the
gotta
cover!
do it.
He hooks the leg! That's gotta be it! New champion! New champion! New champion Aiden Flynn!
Aiden made the most of his opportunity. He let Alex burn himself out. And that means one thing. Aiden Flynn will face Seth Dallas at Music City Mayhem for the World's Championship.
What a war. You know, not everyone is a fan of M&A. You can disagree with their actions tonight, but Aiden Flynn, you can't say he didn't earn that one.
Aiden Flynn, absolutely, through all of his misdeeds, through all of his faults. I mean, it says it right there. He will never back down. He sustained a lot there. And I think he earned the respect of a lot of people here tonight. Congratulations to Aiden Flynn, Christian Cage, even Keith Lee, and of course the Melbourne Switchblades and everyone else who competed here tonight. What a show. Thank you everyone for joining us for the first TNT pay-per-view event. This has been incredible. And I want to thank you, Alexandra Shaw, for joining me here tonight.
My pleasure. On behalf of everyone here at TNT and M&A, we bid you all a very farewell adieu.